Legends Travel Agency has one goal.
Talk to you soon.
The world's biggest soccer tourney.
The hotel is 7 miles from the stadium. Are you serious? Did you email the transportation company?
Now he needs an Arabic interpreter on his roster.
I don't speak it either.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift on Christmas morning. Join the Zone and J-Tech Construction and Solar as we stuff the truck. Today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tomorrow, December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at our studio at 5011 Capitol Avenue in Omaha. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. It's Stuff the Truck to benefit Toys for Tots with 1620 The Zone, 1180 The Zone, and J-Tech Construction and Solar.
I'm former Husker Terry Keneally.
And I'm former Husker Titus Adams.
Titus and I used to sack quarterbacks, but now we're fighting for the children of East Omaha.
Terry and I are on the board of the Q's Fund, which supports the Q's school system, made up of Holy Name, All Saints, and Sacred Heart School, which I am a proud graduate of.
Our students receive a values-based education with the family support they need.
And they go on to graduate high school at a 96% rate.
Learn more about our children at qschools.org.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover. The crossover continues to evolve.
All right, time for the crossover on a Friday on the 2nd of December. All kinds of stuff going on. Did you guys see that the Bear is leaving ESPN? Talk about the portal.
Oh, not the cocaine bear, just the regular bear.
No. Which I'm all in on the cocaine bear after reading the story yesterday.
The FX show,
The Bear. Great show.
What?
Gary, did you watch The Bear?
No.
Barry. No, you should. It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's short. It's really short.
It's on my list.
It's like 8 episodes, 30 minutes a pop.
So they're not even 30-minute episodes. They're like 19 minutes.
Yeah,
there is one that's just one continuous shot.
Yeah, it's like 11 minutes.
Yeah,
they're TV 30 minutes, so it's like 21.
Yeah,
I'm gonna catch up on some stuff because I'm now gonna be in like hotels here this run, so I'm
able
to watch more stuff.
Yeah. You could,
but you guys have recommended it, and it is on the list to watch.
You could knock out the Bear in one flight to Montana.
So what did you discover? Oh, you could knock out the Bear in like the first half of your flight to Montana.
I don't know.
Hey,
how long?
I don't know about
it's
watching
probably like 2 hours, right?
No, it's
the airlines have upgraded the entertainment and movies that are available.
Have they?
Like I rewatched Top Gun going to Florida.
Oh,
yeah. Well, it depends on what airline you're on.
Yeah, we flew American.
Yeah, that's good. Southwest always has some. I'm a Southwest, points earner. So
that's not surprising.
It's not very impressive at all, but
not surprising.
It doesn't, and it also doesn't matter because they give the free TV to everybody. So,
what did you find out about the cocaine bear that interested you most?
Well, one that is off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an actual bear?
Well, I can't. You have to get into the story.
Okay.
So I'm not going to give it away.
No spoilers?
No, but it is off the wall.
Will you be seeing the movie Cocaine Bear?
I will probably go see the movie now.
Okay.
I'll see the movie Cocaine Bear.
Hey, I'll watch. You know what? Hey, you know what? I'm okay with watching stuff that around cocaine. I watch Cocaine Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a big Scarface guy?
Did love Scarface.
A lot of cocaine.
I would wonder if Scarface would be able to be made today.
Maybe a little differently. I have to make some edits.
It is so interesting how, like, if you even go back 20, 25 years of stuff that happened in the movies, like you would go, you can't have that today. Like we always have this discussion about In Living Color. There's no way that In Living Color could be on the airwaves right now, back on Fox.
Sure, yeah.
I don't even think you could like put The Office on TV now.
Really?
Not the first season.
Oh yeah,
not the first season.
Not the
particular episode.
Yeah, there's one season premiere. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 where there's some slurs.
Yeah. Are you talking about Diversity Day?
No. Talk about Oscar's out for a day.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find him.
Yep. Okay.
That one episode in particular, I was jarred.
Oscar calls in sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
There was some question as to whether he was sick or not.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Guys,
the Bear going to Fox. It's exciting.
Matt Rule has tweeted.
Oh,
What do we
he?
have?
What high school is he in?
Lincoln High School.
He's in Lincoln High? Yes. He's talking to Benny Nagoy?
No place like home. #GBR.
Hey, that's actually
Lincoln
that might
High.
be, I mean, he spent a lot of time at Nebraska going to games.
And no offense to Lincoln High, but
No, that's a surprise though.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe Matt Rule's like, all right, what are we going to do? Let's go to the place where there's no kids that we want to recruit, except for Penny Nagoya, obviously. And there's actually, I take that back. There's a couple kids.
Yeah,
there.
but you know what, though? I think like you're seeing they called coaches around the state to talk to him, like he did, to say, hey, we know you have some potential prospects, but just know that we're going to be focusing on 23 and wrapping that up. But we just want to know we're aware of you and we're going to get in touch with you. I think that's like a big deal for Lincoln High to have the head coach.
Yeah.
The brand new head coach walking through your hallways.
Maybe he just went by which one was the closest.
"Quote unquote" first visit.
Yeah. Did you ever, when you were over there at Central, have a coach walk through the hallways that you had to go see?
Not that I remember. Well, I mean, I know Barney Cotton was there quite a bit because I was in the same grade as Chris Reed, who now plays for the Vikings. But he ended up going to Mankato. So like Barney Cotton was there a little bit, but I never saw him. And it wasn't very common for us, so we didn't have very many kids.
We had one guy. I remember the day that Hayden Fry came to our high school, and he was recruiting a kid who was older than me by about 3 years.
That's pretty cool.
Ended up going to Iowa.
I think,
but it was like a big deal that Hayden Fry was in our high school.
I think when I was at Miller North, there was some buzz that Bo was there one day.
Yeah, Bo was at Miller North. I know that he'd been there a few times shortly because I graduated in 05, so he was there. I think he came in 03 when he was the D coordinator as well. And Miller North's 03 class was really, really good. I know the Iowa coaching staff spent a lot of time at Miller North. They had a really good run there in the early 2000s.
Iowa's here a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got a lot of kids from Miller North.
Yeah, they did. They got a really nice run of kids from Miller North, from like Seth Olson to Adam Shada to Jeff Tarpinian. Like they had a really nice run of Miller North kids there.
Yep.
So they were there. They were there a lot. Those were the ones that I was most aware of. But it was always a much bigger deal when a Nebraska guy.
I was getting Omaha kids for years, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it goes all the way back.
Look
Look at Larry Station.
Yeah.
Larry Station is one of the best college linebackers ever from right here in Omaha
Central, baby.
And he ends up going to Iowa. I got to imagine that in high schools around the state, that when Tom Osborne was the head coach and he would come on a recruiting visit and he was in your high school, it would be like picture day. It would just line up and get autographs or take pictures with him.
Well, so my sister was in the same class at Miller North as Eric Crouch.
Okay.
And so Osborne came up. She actually got me Tom Osborne's autograph. Like that's how I got his autograph when I was a kid.
Nice.
Was she stopped him and was like, "Hey, my little brother's a big fan. Can you sign something for me?" So it was just on like a piece of like notebook paper.
There is definitely like a buzz around the schools when it happens.
Yeah, when it's especially when it's the head coach. A lot of the assistants guys, like people don't necessarily recognize, but especially when it was Osborne, him recruiting Eric Crouch was a very big deal at Miller North and actually physically being.
So we got a little bit of Matt Rule's day planned out. Be at Lincoln High for a little bit. He'll be in Malachi Coleman's living room this evening.
By the way, I chuckle. Like he stopped outside of the entrance to Lincoln High to take a picture of Lincoln High School. The sign in the front.
Hell yeah. Why not?
He strikes me as and I don't mean this super disparagingly, dorky tourist guy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fanny pack.
That's the word I used yesterday with Ravi when I was listening to him with Peter Schrager.
Dork.
The guy's a football dork.
Oh, he's
he loves
a nerd.
football.
Yeah. He's a total nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he does look like the guy that like takes the selfie, like a bad angled selfie in front of.
All right, kids, get in there.
The monument. Like, is he in front of the link?
He's absolutely holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, he's like, look at me, guys. It's like, no, why don't you sit back there? It'll look like you're sitting on my shoulder.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so
absolutely.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of coaches, Nebraska coaches in the last couple of cycles taking pictures. Tuioti always would leave
with
his
the hat. I love the hat. That was a great bit.
Didn't Bob Diaco to go to someplace out west, and he took like a weird picture of like it wasn't the school, but it was like
Carhenge.
No, it was like the sign you'd see on the interstate.
Oh, that's awesome.
Interesting.
That's awesome. I can't imagine Bob Diaco at a Western Nebraska school. That's so funny.
That's where they sent him. Like his first.
Would he have been recruiting Garrett Nelson?
I think he was just making the tour.
Just make the
Yeah.
rounds.
But Nelson probably would have been on their radar out there at the time.
Interesting.
Right, because I mean he was class of 18.
Yeah.
Do you think that he went there on his own, or do you think they sent somebody with him?
I think they sent somebody.
I
with
hope
him.
they sent a staff.
I think he had a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see Bob Diaco just getting behind the wheel for 6 hours to get out to Western Nebraska.
Yeah, what's Bob Diaco doing on his road trips?
Probably talking to himself a lot.
I would say
a lot of muttering. Yeah.
He seems a lot like talking to himself.
I was
guy.
gonna say
Podcast really
silence.
hadn't taken off yet, so
I was gonna say silence. I think his
Just total
I
silence.
think his car is incredibly pristine, all leather on the inside. He drives with 2 hands, and he doesn't say or do anything. He just, this is my 6-hour drive today, or 8
See,
hours.
that's what we
whatever.
need more of
Scottsbluff.
of recruiting stories.
Road trip chronicles.
Yes. Like you hear the late Jack Pierce would tell those stories
Oh,
about recruiting in
fantastic.
Louisiana.
Mhm.
Anybody that recruited in the heydays of Nebraska, Oklahoma, down into Texas, they would tell George Darlington tells like some of the stories he tells about recruiting Lawrence Phillips and his time in Southern California with Abdul Muhammad and places that George Darlington's probably not going to be.
Yeah.
And people are like, why are you? Oh, you're a football coach. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like to hear more of those stories, but I can just now see in my head, Matt Rule is standing in front of Lincoln High. Maybe he's by himself, and people are just like, who is this guy?
Why is he taking a picture? Yeah, like is Rule going by himself? He's got to have a guy.
He's got to have a guy who doesn't know the lay of the land.
There's got to be a staffer that's driving him
Yeah.
around. Come on.
You don't think he just put in the address to Lincoln High and
hopped in the car?
he just is all of a sudden he's at 19th and G going,
No
Where
way.
is this high
He's got to
school?
have like when Matt Rule walks in the door to Lincoln High, it's not just Matt Rule. It's somebody else and Matt Rule.
This is a
the
practical.
only problem is they dismissed a lot of the recruiting staff yesterday. So
That's true. Yeah, there's not many left.
Maybe it's just one of the secretaries that's driving him around.
Hey, there's all hands on deck.
No, I just mean from a practical standpoint though, because he's probably making calls and texting people all day. Like he needs to have his hands free. I don't think he can be driving.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the presentation of it too. If he walks in by himself, I don't know, it doesn't feel as cool.
So do we get
He'll walk in
You want a
with
whole
other
entourage? You want like 8 of them?
Yeah,
do
at
we
least
get
2.
do
Rolling
we get
deep.
a Matt Rule Malachi Coleman picture today in his house?
Yeah, I think we do.
If we do, I think it went well.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
If it doesn't go well, I don't think we get a picture.
Yeah, if he's like sorry, coach, it's not happening, then there's no picture.
The Nagoye thing is interesting too, because Iowa State is obviously in a really weird spot at the moment, considering
fired their OC.
they just fired their offensive coordinator.
Well,
It might be the right moment
so
for him.
he is gone. I think he went to like the last 4 Nebraska home
Yeah,
games.
he's everywhere for sure.
Mhm.
So why not?
Interesting.
And Matt Rule has a history of flipping guys. That's like their thing.
Okay,
Listen,
whether
when
they
you come
be-
in at this point in the process, you got to.
Maybe
well,
it
either
makes
they
a
be
lot of
new
sense.
or during even at like year 2, year
Yeah.
3 at Temple and Baylor, they flipped guys. That
Maybe
was
it
kind
makes
of
a
their
lot of
thing.
sense that Matt Rule shows up at Lincoln High right off the bat, 10 o'clock on the first Friday you can recruit.
It doesn't seem random. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Wonder what the next stop is. Like, does he show his face in Omaha today, or is that tomorrow?
I bet he goes to Lincoln Southeast because he's got a verbal commitment offensive lineman there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
We already know somebody.
Just keep going east.
I would say we already know somebody was at Elkhorn South to talk to Terrence was at Knighton was at Elkhorn South
Pot roast.
to talk to Noonan. So I don't know if maybe Matt Rule makes a stop in there as well as he makes his
Noonan
way
and
into
others.
Omaha.
Yes.
Maybe he stops in Gretna to have a little Mason Goldman conversation.
Wasn't there? I believe there was a Gretna coach, or there was a coach in Gretna already this morning.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't double dip.
It doesn't.
I think Tim Rattay from Oklahoma State is supposed to be at Gretna today.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the quarterback coach at
Recruiting wars.
Oklahoma State.
And what happens if you're one of those coaches and you see, like you see one of those guys, you see like LeVar Woods, like, hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I think they're cordial.
I think
Probably.
But
I would think
like,
so too.
And it's too bad because like this
But you're like
staff-
waiting outside in line to talk to the same kid, and you're going to give him the same pitch.
So, well, that's why like over at Westside, Marcus Satterfield was first, and then Ed Foley like later
Yeah.
went in. But like this staff has no connection to a week ago where you could be sitting in the lobby and it'd be awkward because LeVar Woods is over there
Mhm.
and you're sitting on the other side. And Nebraska beat Iowa last Friday, but you weren't part of it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true. There's a little.
Hey, before last Friday, LeVar Woods probably walked into every high school in Omaha and said, "Hey, this is my house, baby."
They're both just sitting there, and the guy goes,
This is
how'd it happen?
This is my house.
What happened?
Not anymore. Winning matters, I guess.
Tough day on special teams for Iowa against Nebraska. I'm just saying.
They fumbled a punt return,
and they hopped the shield, which is apparently illegal.
You cannot jump the shield. Remember we were sitting here watching that. I was like, "Oh yeah, you can't jump the shield." Yeah,
you know why? Because you have to protect the shield.
That's right.
That's how the 22 season ends. Is we could have carried like the Nebraska-Iowa result and stuff that happened in that game for another 3 or 4 days.
Oh, for sure. I wish we would have had more time to talk about it.
Yeah. But outside of you guys on Big Red Overreaction and anybody that did a weekend show, people didn't talk about.
Gary, we barely
talked about the game
on Overreaction,
like minutes.
Yeah,
that's too bad because there was so much that happened in the game.
Yeah, it was most of the callers were like, "Hey, so can you guys like convince me on this rule guy?" And we're like, "Well." Yep, that's the way we're going. That's the way we're going.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much immediate. Yeah.
And then it was the next morning.
Yeah. Well, the leak had been out already.
By the way, we had Josh on our picks last week. I mean, we were just hours away, but the last pick we did was who's the coach and when does it get announced? And you said Luke Fickell Sunday.
Yeah.
Just had the wrong school.
Listen,
and the wrong person.
So
the wrong day.
I actually feel really good about my Luke Fickell prediction after A, he ended up at Wisconsin, and B, the Mitch Sherman story. Yeah, like I don't think we were terribly far from it happening.
No, I don't think so either.
So
I think at the end, he was one of the last two. He was the second guy.
And if the contract for whatever reason hadn't gotten done with Rule, which
the next day he's in Wisconsin,
reasonably touch and go for a lot of that process,
for sure.
With the contract between Rule and his agent and Nebraska and Carolina, I actually feel very good about my prediction. Like obviously it wasn't right, but I don't feel
like the process.
Yeah, I like how I got there, and I don't feel like it was. When I said it, I feel like people looked at me like I was crazy because Fickell had not been really brought up at that point.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. You were far off.
I feel very justified. That's all I wanted to say.
I don't think you were far off.
Very justified.
Anyway, you weren't right, but
no. But he ends up at a Big Ten West school.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
I feel good about it. He was the second guy at Nebraska. I feel good about my prediction.
How about the Matt Rule? And by the way, Nebraska ball Mike, who I know you guys talked to, has already said Nebraska is going to start 0-3. Had to remind him that Michigan was not the third game.
Yeah, there's like a Louisiana Tech.
But just think about this: Nebraska's first 2 games could be against PJ Fleck and Dion Sanders.
That would be amazing. We've been talking about this possibility since I thought that Dion might go to Colorado, which is the greatest idea ever. I actually had a thing last Friday, I think, on the show. Like, I want Colorado. I have this thing about Colorado. I want Colorado to be good.
Okay.
I think it's a really cool place and a really cool brand.
You just want to go to Colorado more.
No, I like the idea of Colorado football. Like I like the idea of them being good, and it's probably the nostalgia of
it definitely is. That's
watching
fine,
Nebraska and Colorado. But I just don't see too many reasons why they shouldn't be at least competitive. Or it's not as bad as a program as it is right now
because they're broke.
They can burn in hell.
But that would be so cool. That would be such a cool hire if they got Dion Sanders. That would be such a cool hire.
They would rule the offseason because everybody'd want to stop in Boulder to talk to Dion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, their social media team would expand. There would be so much about Dion and the program. Yeah. I mean, for Colorado football, where it's at, where you're competing with the Broncos and the other sports, pro sports teams, it would be you get a guy who appears that he can coach football. And you get a boost because it would be all about Coach Prime in Colorado.
And he can certainly recruit.
That'd be so cool.
You would have a lot of portal guys that would go,
yes.
Okay, it's still Pac-12 for 1 year.
Yeah.
It's Boulder, so it's a big city.
Nice,
I would
nice
look
place
there.
to live.
And you know what? You're in a state.
Exactly. Why would you not want to go there?
No,
you're in a state also that's got some pretty good high school football, but everybody else comes into your state and takes players, including Nebraska. you're a Colorado high school kid, and you got Dion Sanders in Boulder.
Yeah.
You ain't going nowhere.
No way.
And the risk mitigation, what's really the worst thing Dion Sanders has done at Jackson State?
I mean,
So there's really no reason to be afraid.
No,
other
the
than
only risk is
he's a little loud.
lack of experiment.
No,
Lack of
yeah. The
experience.
only actual tangible risk is that if he can't accumulate talent at Colorado, that's so much better than it is against his opponents, the way he does that at Jackson State.
Yeah.
That's the only real concern is we don't.
Okay, so there could be a talent disparity now at that level
That he can't-
that would not exist at Colorado.
that he cannot
sure.
create the equivalent at Colorado. That's the only concern because obviously he can recruit really well and I think he's going to get guys at Colorado. What I don't think we know for sure is how good of a football coach he is. Great recruiter. I think he can run a program.
Yeah, because you can walk in there, update Jackson State's locker room, blow the kids away with the presentation of that locker room, Coach Prime versus the other schools at that level, and it's an easy decision.
And if you get a couple guys that could play high major football and you get them to Jackson State, all of a sudden you're blowing people out of the water, right? You get a Travis Hunter, you get his kid, Shadur Sanders, all of a sudden you're killing people. So that's the only risk there is, can he does what he does translate to a Power 5 school? But if you're Colorado, that's a good risk to take.
Oh yeah,
because you're either getting somebody that is inexperienced. You're not getting a Luke Fickell or a Matt Rule at Colorado.
Exactly. Anyway, the alternative is Illinois' defensive.
Yeah, you're getting a coordinator, or you're getting a group of 5 guy that's not terribly sexy. Like you're not getting
Dion.
Hey, if this happens, so Colorado next year opens at TCU. His first game at CU would be Nebraska.
Yeah.
First home game?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They open at TCU, defending national champions, TCU.
Yeah, but they'll be losing Heisman winner Max Duggan.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I love that little triangular at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
PJ Fleck on a Thursday night, and then Dion. And Nebraska will travel extremely well to both.
So you could have.
Are you kidding me? There's going to be. I mean, it'll be all red for both.
So Nebraska could probably play 2 primetime games to begin the year.
I would guess that the Colorado game is.
Yeah, that'd be a primetime game.
Nebraska's going to push for either Big Fox or
game?
BTN. So they're going to get a 6 or a 8 o'clock kickoff on Thursday. And then if that's Dion Sanders' first home game, if this happens and he does go to
oh my God, they're gonna.
Plus, you've got Colorado, Nebraska. Like that's still the names.
It might not be Big Fox, but it'll be FS1.
I think it'd be Big Noon. I mean, I think they'd try to make it Big Noon if they drafted that.
Yeah, maybe. I just the names I think are big enough still.
Is it?
Yeah.
Would that be?
Let's actually think about.
Would that be a CBS game?
Oh, that afternoon window.
Oh,
interesting.
Got to wrap my brain around this now.
I would say it's easy
This is
to
great because
forget.
this isn't until September 9th. This is awesome.
Yeah, we're only 9 months away. What about, would that be, is NBC doing evening college football games? Could you get maybe like an NBC primetime?
There is an NBC. Does NBC enter next year, or
I can't remember. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Or is that in 24?
When does anything start?
When does anything happen? College football playoff expansion 2024.
I'm trying to look.
People forget
the yes, that does happen. I'm trying to look at the rest of the week 3 games.
Yeah, but when is that really?
Next year would be when Texas goes back to Alabama.
Yeah,
Boring
that'll be
snooze fest.
Who cares?
That's not the first. When's Arch Manning start?
This year. Next year.
Next year.
Is that in the fall?
Yeah.
Is he gonna beat out Quinn Ewers?
Quinn.
They already lost Hudson Card. Let's bring them all up to Lincoln. All the Texas reject quarterbacks. Let's bring them into Lincoln.
You want to hit that portal now, Quinn?
Might as well. You're not starting over Arch.
Yeah.
Come on.
Who got benched in his final high school game?
Did he?
Yeah, his high school got blown out, and so he got benched.
Arch Manning can't win the big one.
Much like everyone else in his family, not named Eli.
Okay, September 9th, next year, next year. Arizona, Mississippi State, Auburn,
Pass.
Auburn, Cal,
Pass.
Cincinnati, Pitt,
Pass.
Interesting, but pass.
Illinois, Kansas, guys.
I'm thinking about it.
Illinois, Kansas.
Now that is intriguing.
That's something. Yeah.
Yeah, that
now
might be
that's-
interesting.
couple of up and comers.
Nebraska, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Arizona State, Oregon, Texas Tech, Purdue, Virginia Tech, Texas, Alabama, Texas A&M, Miami rematch. Utah, Baylor, Vandy, Wake Forest, Wisconsin, Washington State. Wisconsin in Pullman against Washington State.
I feel like Nebraska, Colorado is
that's like the second
or third.
It's like the second or third biggest.
Yeah.
And if it's Dion, it might you
Yeah,
might just say, okay, number one.
I would say it's close enough to the top without Dion that I think with Dion you get a little bump.
Could be the number one pick that week.
I think people would take it over Utah, Baylor.
Now I got a question.
Ooh, I don't know.
This just dawned on me.
Maybe.
Utah, Baylor would be a better football game.
Yes,
but
but maybe not a better
ratings
product.
draw.
Yeah, TV product.
Yeah, that's right.
Like again, Illinois, Kansas, better football game probably.
Yeah.
Maybe not a better product. Or people forget it's all about TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that TV money.
Not a lot of people talking about that.
No, I think the influence that television money has had on college football is an underrated, undercovered topic.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a driving force.
This is a hot take.
I know.
I think it has impacted things.
Yes. Interesting. I'd like to hear people talk about this.
Well, you guys are just staring at screens. So Josh and I are just doing our own show over
No,
here.
because I'm trying to. So
I got an email.
So when this, when Dion's name
Let me
was
fill
being
these pauses for you
bandied
guys.
around, someone said that he's got to be. It's either Adidas or Nike. He's had a falling out with.
Oh,
And so if he went to one of those schools, would that be uncomfortable?
Oh, that's actually very interesting to me.
Would you not hire a head coach for that reason?
Well, probably not. But you might have to talk to your
Smooth things
supplier,
over
you
like
know.
with your rep?
Yeah,
Colorado's a Nike school,
right? That's what I thought. Can you get out of the deal?
Who did he? Do we know why he had a falling out with the shoe company?
Someone asked me like a week ago. They had heard that.
I'm pretty sure he's in with Under Armour. Like
now he is.
So that might be his. Does he sponsor Under Armour away from Jackson State?
I think so. Like I think
Okay,
that's
so he's an
separate.
Under Armour guy.
So he might have to be in an Under Armour school.
Oh.
November of 2019, Dion Sanders discusses his fallout with Nike over creativity.
Oh, so Colorado, it would be too much.
Now people are scrambling to see what Cincinnati is.
Cincinnati, I think, is an Under Armour school.
Wisconsin is.
Yeah.
You should have gone to Wisconsin.
I think they would take Fickle over Dion.
I think so too.
Dion Sanders on why he'll never work with Nike again.
Okay, there you go.
Taking some pretty hard lines there, Dion.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati might be an Under Armour school.
Yeah, that sounds right. Actually,
I'm Googling now. You guys can fill the pauses.
So if he does go to Colorado, that's
you got to figure something else out. Colorado has to switch their whole brand. That would be amazing. I'm pretty sure Jackson State did that though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Jackson State.
Because he got him a deal.
Yeah. Jackson State was like a Nike school, and they were like, actually, now we're Under Armour.
The Cincinnati Bearcats are exiting the apparel deal with Under Armour in 2024, but AD John Cunningham wants a new deal even faster.
So I wonder if you bring in Dion and that
Does he
deal
bring
gets
Under Armour with
gets re-upped. But they are currently an
This
Under
is
Armour
hilarious.
school.
That's so funny.
This is like
But that's probably got to be like if you are Colorado and it
Yeah.
is serious, as they've already made him an offer. You already had to discuss that with him.
Oh yeah,
Say, hey, we're a
and
Nike
with
school.
Nike, yeah.
Yeah. You might not like Dion Sanders. He might have said some things about you, but now he's going to be working at a school that he's going to be.
He's a brand ambassador.
Well, because I don't think you could say, Dion can't say, hey, I'm not going to wear the swoosh.
No, he would be contract.
I mean, Nike would all of a sudden be like, this is awesome because now we got this guy who's going to be everywhere and he's going to be decked out in Nike gear.
Yeah.
Do you wonder if he would just not work with them personally? Like he'd wear the stuff, but then that probably ruins his relationship with Under Armour.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, that's it's specifically in the coach's contract. Like you got it. You are basically one of the top brand ambassadors.
You can't be blacking out the swoosh.
Yeah, you can't do like a Michael Jordan at the Olympics deal where you drape something over your shoulder.
Dion's done like 14 interviews today, and he's always wearing a towel.
Yeah. He's a big John Thompson guy. Just likes having that towel over his
It's an
shoulder.
homage to the great coaches of our times.
That's right. So the Colorado's Nike deal expires 24-25. So maybe they could get out of it early. I don't know. That's
New
where we're
wrinkle. A new wrinkle to the Dion situation.
So Cincinnati, I think, just became the leader in the clubhouse for Dion.
Wasn't the other school that Dion was talking about was South Florida? And I'm pretty sure they're an Under Armour.
They are, I believe, yes.
So, well,
wow, that could be like the twist in all of this.
It's like high school basketball recruiting now. Like, what shoe company do you have?
Yeah.
What shoe circuit did this guy play on?
Yeah. So weird.
It's kind of silly that it matters, but it kind of does.
Oh, it absolutely matters. It's just dumb that it is.
Because I got to imagine Dion on his own still makes pretty good money from Under Armour.
Oh, I would guess, yeah.
Because he did outfit the entire athletic department of Jackson State with an Under Armour deal.
But does that matter as much if he's making Power 5 money?
No, I mean, they would have to have an agreement. I mean, he'd have
money?
to put it on the side. Like,
Yeah,
because even doing his like Barstool stuff, if he'd still be allowed to do that.
yeah,
I mean, does he all of a sudden pop on with Under Armour?
yeah.
I would imagine that is one of his stipulations in taking it. It's like, hey, look, I still got to be me. You know, I still got to do this stuff.
Yeah, I think maybe you try. I would imagine whoever is courting him understands they have to go get an Under Armour deal.
All right,
We had our guy, fans, but
Shoe deal didn't work out.
yep. And somebody, well, how's it worked out for you in the past?
I mean, you've got to, it'd be like, Jay Wright decides he wants to get back into coaching. The bespoke tailor in town wasn't good enough. Got to get out of here.
This could be wild. Matt Rule's three of his first 5 games could be against Fleck, Dion Sanders, and Jim Harbaugh.
That's correct.
Man, that would be fun.
Welcome.
Rule versus Dion.
Not Matt Rule, not quite as much of a character as any of those guys.
No.
Although a little bit of a character, but not much.
He's kind of like a mix between Fleck and Harbaugh.
No, I think he's definitely got some Fleck to him for sure.
Like if you put Fleck and Harbaugh into a vat, you might get Matt Rule, personality wise.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think you're in the neighborhood at least.
More football guy-y than PJ Fleck,
but more kind of
more hokey than
a little more
Jim Harbaugh.
a little cheesier than Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I think you're in the neighborhood.
Big Ten Media Days are going to be fun.
Be great. Thanks, guys.
Have a good weekend, guys.
That's crossover. We will come back and start things off on a Friday. We'll also talk to our 4-quarter pick'em contestant this week. Make some picks. By the way, where's my money? $1,620.
We're not eligible. We've been over this.
And I had a great week in our picks last week, Josh. So I'm feeling good right now. We will start things off on a Friday next on 1620 The Zone.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
The town of Wood River will never be able to forget that picture of him sitting there with his Wood River jersey on.
Yes.
You got to change the name of the town, or you got to Photoshop the picture.
Or what if you know how it says home of Scott Frost? What if they did home of the worst Nebraska coach ever?
And then put a Scofro sticker on it. Or I did that.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and more mild Friday. South to southwest winds will help temperatures climb into the upper 50s by the afternoon. Cold front comes through, though, after 4 o'clock. That'll flip the wind to the northwest, and temperatures will crash through the evening. A wind advisory will remain in effect until 10 p.m. with gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour possible. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Here's a little Christmas tip. Never ask Santa for adult beverages. Seriously, can you imagine the legal implications of carrying quality, locally brewed Nebraska beer or cider while flying a sleigh? So if you want your family and friends to gift you some Nebraska brewed awesomeness, ask and ye shall receive. Your local Nebraska Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are currently working on special seasonal brews to make your holiday get-togethers merry and bright. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply in person this Thursday and Friday at the Florence City Hall from 9 to 5:30 for an on-the-spot interview. Unable to attend? Apply by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
The Mavericks return home after a road victory over the number 1 ranked team in the country, Denver. Get your tickets for tonight and tomorrow night against Western Michigan. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your tickets at the Baxter Arena box office or at omavs.com/tigs.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, 2022's been a roller coaster year, so spoil her this Christmas by giving her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all. With soft, silky, naturally nude pajamas, exclusively from Pajamagram. Sensuous and smooth, naturally nude pajamas feel just like her own bare skin, even more alluring than lingerie. The texture and touch of these pajamas is so seductive that you'll both love the feel of them. She'll love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all, and you'll love the way they look. Best of all, Pajamagram does the wrapping for you with free gift packaging. Order today, and Pajamagram will also include a free matching naturally nude nightie with the purchase of naturally nude pajamas. That is free gift packaging and a free naturally nude nightie when you order today. Just go to Pajamagram.com. It's fast, easy, and delivery by Christmas is guaranteed. That's Pajamagram.com.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
One of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that I'm always finding new players or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It is perfect for tonight's game, where you can build your own same-game parlay, like the quarterback over passing yards, anytime touchdown, or total points scored. Or, you know what? Use the pre-built on an app that is safe and secure to use. It's easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet. Live betting, you can bet fast during the game with a trend you like, and fast withdrawals. It's all right there. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet, so lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, sign up today with promo code ZONE for your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code ZONE. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
All right, good Friday, everyone. Welcome in. It is the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. A busy Friday as it's conference championship weekend. And for all of those, yes, I'm talking to you guys in the afternoon on Sportsmanlike Conduct. Why are we talking smack on this week's slate?
I like conference championship games. Long live conference championship games.
I like conference championship games with meaning and stakes and significance.
Yeah, what do they mean? Let's not talk about that part. But there's, in a lot of cases, two good teams playing each other. And in the case of a couple major conferences, there's one good team and a sacrificial lamb. So it is conference championship weekend in college football. We will pick those games as maybe we'll do a bowl slate, Josh, but I think our picks basically come to a close this weekend. And I have a little bit of an edge on you at this point. We'll get to that. A little bit. You do have a chance. It is, I'd call it extremely unlikely if this is the last week, but you are not mathematically eliminated as we finish that one out for the season. And Nebraska coaches on the road. Matt Rule showing up at Lincoln High. Other coaches around the Omaha metro area today saying hello, introducing themselves. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? Shaking hands, kissing babies. And, of course, talking to recruits, and we'll talk about...
Wouldn't that be weird if Matt Rule found a baby at Lincoln High School and kissed it?
Let me kiss it.
Let me kiss that baby.
What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to kiss the baby. And we'll talk about recruiting and Malachi Coleman and re-offers and everything else in between on that side of things with Bryan Munson. And probably it'll carry over to our chat with Brian Christopherson right after that. And Sipple will join the show. I don't think I've talked to Sipple in several weeks now, right?
Wow.
We were off last Friday, or we didn't have a normal show last Friday.
We were off last. What were we doing last Friday?
Well, it was Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a football game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
You remember that time Nebraska beat Iowa in the Heroes game?
People forget that.
Yeah.
And they were up 24-0
at Iowa.
And then the week before that was a home game, so I was out at Jonesboro's doing the morning show. So it's been, we haven't talked to Sipple in a very, very long time. It's not like he's been busy or anything. And that's the lineup powered by the Roof Freeze, John Higgins Weather Guard. Actually, we have a late addition to the lineup. 4-quarter pick 'em, not dead. It continues on, folks. It continues on for the next couple weeks. We haven't given away that $1,620 yet.
Not once.
Not once. So we're going to keep giving you guys opportunities to do so as long as we humanly can. And that's where we welcome in Mike to the show this week. Mike is our 4-quarter pick'em qualifier that was randomly drawn out of a hat. And Mike is here to make his picks for the weekend. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm fine. I hope everyone is well there. And I told Josh a couple times, I think your money is safe with me.
Okay. Wait, our money is safe, meaning we won't have to give it to you?
I'm in 2 pools, and I'm at the bottom of both. One is a 4-person, one is a 16-person.
Lightning in a bottle. You don't want to get struck by lightning like Drew Brees, fake, but lightning in a bottle. That's what we're trying to catch here this week.
Hope.
Mike, go for it. What's your first pick this weekend?
First pick, I'm going with USC minus 2.5 against Utah.
Okay, he's going to the
revenge pick.
And that is tonight. That is
tonight.
The Pac-12 championship game is tonight.
I said I do this every year where I get home on a Friday night and go, why is this Pac-12 football game on? Oh, this is live. Okay.
It's a nice little gift.
It is.
USC minus 2.5 is pick number 1 for Mike. All right, Mike, what do you got next?
Moving to tomorrow, based on Brian Edwards yesterday, I'm going to go with Fresno State plus 3.5 at Boise.
I like this.
Ooh.
The Mountain West title game. I don't think we're going to pick it on the show today. But it is a conference championship game along with like the MAC and the Sun Belt that just aren't going to get talked about. But Fresno State is plus 3.5 against Boise State. I like it. Pick number 3.
Pick 3, Michigan given 16.5 to Purdue.
Yeah.
They just look so good.
They do. They really do. And that was one of the games I said yesterday. It was like, I don't know if I see a scenario really to Purdue winning that game. 16.5 is quite a bit. So good on you for taking Michigan with the points there. All right. And finally, which one's going to bring it home for you?
Finally, I think this was a Brian Edwards too. Detroit Lions giving a point to Jacksonville.
Detroit minus 1 against the Jaguars. Lions have been pretty good lately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, your money's probably safe, but I'm living in a world of hope right now.
Hey, man, look, the advantage, I boast my 4-0 week.
but I do it every week. So I've had a lot more chances than you have. You got to catch lightning in a bottle once. Hey, Mike, thanks. Appreciate it, man. And good luck.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That's our 4-quarter pick'em contestant who is, and by the way, this is a tough week to do it as well. Like,
there's very few games.
There's no hiding.
Yeah. The lines are there. Yeah.
There's just no hiding this week. So that sort of stinks. But we're going to keep doing this for a couple more weeks here, maybe into bowl season as well. I can tell you that one of the picks that Mike made, I will be going against in my 4-quarter pick'em this week.
Ooh, okay.
Directly against in my 4-quarter pick'em. So we'll have that. Joel says on Twitter, JTech Instructions on Twitter feed, by the way, people forget Fresno and Boise play for the Milk Can Rivalry Trophy. Is this true?
Yes, it is true.
Where's the Mountain West title game?
Now that I don't know.
Is it just at a home site?
I would assume so.
Let's see. We played at Albertsons Stadium in Boise, Idaho.
Yep.
On the Smurf turf, blue turf.
Yeah, that thing is a milk can.
A milk can. I've never even what even is a milk can?
It looks like a large spittoon.
Buckets are good. I like when they play for buckets.
Yeah.
The old oaken bucket.
I like that rack of ribs that Memphis plays for.
Yeah, there's a lot of good trophies out there. Bring all the weird trophies to it.
There's a lot of trophies in the Big Ten, and not a lot of them are good.
Well, Floyd of Rosedale is fantastic.
Sure.
The bucket is a Big Ten game. The old oaken bucket.
Mm-hmm. That's a thing.
Who's that?
Oh, feels like Indiana and
it does.
I don't know, Minnesota. I don't know.
Indiana and Purdue.
Ah, damn.
The old oaken bucket. There's a couple axes.
Yeah, Minnesota got that big one over the weekend.
Yep, against Wisconsin. That's Paul Bunyan's.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another axe somewhere in the conference as well.
Multiple axe trophies.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's some trophies for games that don't even happen every year too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this game's gonna happen every like 5 years between East and West divisional splits. It's like, oh, they play for a trophy. That's cool. That's different. But we are off and running here on a Friday. Like we said, we'll keep you updated on anything that goes on from the Nebraska recruiting perspective. Last night, 3 entrants for Nebraska into the transfer portal. Dakota's Crawford. So what happens with that NIL deal?
That's the great thing about having that name with that type of operation.
Yeah, but they got to change a commercial. He doesn't play football in Lincoln anymore.
Well, every city has an HVAC company. His name is still going to be Dakota's Crawford.
I'm just saying, what happens to the HVAC, the specific HVAC company?
I think people like go, aren't you that HVAC company?
I think it's like a year deal, right? I don't know. You're gonna pay that thing out. Dakota's Crawford into the portal. There was a connection there, I think, with Mickey Joseph, and then Brant Banks into the portal after his 3-4 years in Lincoln at this point. And also, so this is the big one and the surprising one from yesterday. Ernest Hausman, the linebacker from Columbus, who sort of burst onto the scene as the season progressed and was, started off playing quite a bit, was benched, taken out, and then came back and really grinded and battled the last couple games. And then all of a sudden there was the injuries to both Reimer and Hendrich, and he was sort of the anchor of the linebacker core, or at least the middle linebackers. And Ernest Hausman has entered the transfer portal. A lot of people pointed this out yesterday, but just because you enter the transfer portal doesn't mean you are officially gone. It's an opportunity for people to enter their name into the portal, see what options might be out there for them, and then say, okay, there's a new coaching staff here, re-recruit me a little bit. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, I would note this. A lot of guys that you have seen enter the transfer portal, and actually all 3 of those guys that you've seen enter the transfer portal, and maybe more to come here today, tomorrow,
and over the next couple days. Remember, Nebraska guys can enter the portal now before December 5th because they had a coaching change. So, this is all sort of free movement at this point. But none of those guys that entered the portal yesterday have position coaches at the moment. And Nebraska dealing with sort of a not complete staff yet, out on the road recruiting, still working on hiring people as well. So for those guys, you say, all right, why not go into the portal, see what's out there for me, and then we'll find out who my new position coach is here, and we'll see what happens after that. And just sort of go through that process or open up your options again. In Hausman's case in particular, I genuinely don't know what the motivation is, but I imagine that would be part of it. Do I see him leaving? Hard to tell. I gotta say, it was surprising, for sure. It was surprising yesterday. Because he's a kid from Nebraska. So we'll see how that one shakes out. Also, and we'll talk about that with really all of our guests today. Drew Brees, alive, not dead, and not struck by lightning.
Yeah, Darren Ravel, it was clearly fake, you moron.
What did Darren Ravel do?
He tweeted out like, Drew Brees has been struck by lightning, and I've contacted his representation, and I'm still awaiting word on the health and safety of Drew Brees. It was clearly fake, you moron.
From the beginning. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I didn't know. Like, it came from a weird source, and it was like, I don't know what this is, but he's in a different country, and he got struck by lightning. And I'm like, what is going on? So there was at least probably 5 or 10 minutes this morning where I was like, oh, Drew Brees may have got struck by lightning. This may be a potentially serious situation. And so it was like, oh, actually, it's a promotional deal from a sports book. Great.
An inferior sports book.
That's right. I don't think FanDuel would ever make me get struck by lightning.
They would never ask such a heinous thing of you. You are correct.
I just love the idea of the promotional stunt being, all right, let's strike him by lightning and just make everybody think he's dead for a second.
Like, that'll get people to gamble with us.
I don't know. Is that a successful marketing trip there?
Gamble with us. We gambled with Drew Brees' life.
I like that. It's a good catchphrase, at least. I haven't seen a statement from the particular sports book.
They're laying low.
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine it's not probably hitting the way they thought it was going to hit. It didn't strike.
2 hours ago,
right,
we are aware of the media coverage regarding our brand ambassador, Drew Brees. We are in communication with his team and will continue to monitor events through the coming hours.
Okay, so that's fake too.
Yeah, that's fake too. And then there's a fake video from Drew Brees where he says, I'm okay. And his face is like they clearly rubbed like dirt on his face to make it and spiked his hair. So it looks like he's in a horrible situation.
Okay, poll question. Just before, we got to answer the phone, but poll question. Did you even for a second think that Drew Brees got struck by lightning? I like that. Okay. We'll put that out there. I'd love to hear from you guys in the show today. 402-951-1620 on the Lusso's Harley Davidson hotline. Also, you can text that number, same number, 402-951-1620. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, and email Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. Like I said, Bryan Munson, Bryan Christopherson, Steve Sipple coming up today. The lineup is powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll make picks for conference championship weekend. We'll talk about the portal. We'll talk about Creighton basketball last night, who, really, truly played poorly and lost to Texas on the road in a game that they really had a chance to win still with about 2+ minutes left. Potential new hires. I have a bone to pick with Ken Rosenthal, and more portal entries over the last couple days. And one thing that I heard from Matt Rule that hasn't been talked about a lot that I liked quite a bit. We'll get to that during the show today. But up next, Bryan Munson on a busy day for him. Next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
The holidays are coming, and what's better than the gift of spending time together? And Tickets for Less and ticketsforless.com is going to help you. You can find tickets to all the best live sporting events, concerts, and holiday shows, and you never pay extra per ticket fees. Plus, you can save even more at ticketsforless.com when you use the promo code The Zone at checkout for an extra discount on your order. That code again is The Zone. It's good site-wide at ticketsforless.com, or you can call Tickets for Less at 402-398-1999 and redeem the code over the phone. Secure your tickets and save with Tickets for Less.
This is the final weekend to save up to 50% during 42 Degrees Black Friday sale. With multiple convenient locations by your mom's house, the most knowledgeable and friendly staff, and lots of inventory to choose from. Why shop anywhere else? So if you're looking to save on glass, vaporizers, candles, CBD, e-juice, disposables, and more, don't wait until it's too late. Hurry down to any 42 Degree location and save up to 50%. 42 Degrees by your mom's house.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Holiday shopping? Backed by popular demand, stop by Cops at 72nd and Jones, Shadow Lake Town Center, or 180th and Center to grab a bite and buy a gift card. Cops gift cards are sure to please. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salad, and tasty charred wings with a variety of homemade sauces. They even offer keto crusts. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, now with 3 convenient locations to serve you. 72nd and Jones, the Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, or click copspizza.com.
He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Hey, just a reminder, and we'll remind you about this a few times today, our annual Stuff the Truck event going on right now. They have opened up in our parking lot. It looks like somewhat of a carnival out there. All of our tents are out.
Is there a ring toss game?
Does not appear so. But there's some swag, I believe, that is being.
Yeah, there's lots of swag. You can meet lots of people who work within this building here.
Yep.
and help out with a great cause.
And
Toys for Tots.
Our friends from JTech are helping out as well. And there's a couple Marines out there. Our Stuff the Truck event, you could bring a new unwrapped toy to us, and we'll make a big donation to Toys for Tots. Goes on today until 6 and tomorrow from 11 to 4. So drop by whenever it's convenient for you inside of those times, and we'd be happy to make a donation on your behalf. You might get a little shout out on the air as well. If you drop by, tell one of the people out there you're a 1620 The Zone fan. I think the word can get back to us.
Absolutely.
Pretty quickly. All right. So drop on by and we'll remind you a couple more times throughout the show today. But let's get into the swing of things for today. It's a big, big day for Nebraska football as the new coaching staff out on the road. And we welcome in Bryan Munson of Husker Online, who we haven't talked to in quite some time. Hey, Munson, how are you?
I'm telling you, I was just trying to think about the last time I spoke to you and the way that the world looked at that point
yeah.
versus the way that the world looks right now. And it's been flipped on its axis, hasn't it?
Well, it's funny. We, I think we were like, all right, we can finally do it. Let's put to bed the Malachi Coleman thing, and we don't have to talk about it anymore. And here we are today.
I thought the same exact thing when I called Sean Callahan up yesterday and I gave him the news that Malachi had decommitted, and we were kind of going back into this process. And it's one of the things I kind of mentioned today in Tunnel Talk too. It just seemed like everything's been very, I don't want to say erratic's not a great word for it. I think it's a very confusing time, and I don't think that there's been the proper milestones have been paid attention to as far as like when it comes to the commitment and maybe what to kind of wait for to kind of build a case. Because I mean, if you contrast Coleman and Benjamin Bramer, for example,
yeah,
Bramer's been reevaluating Nebraska and Iowa State, and maybe even potentially Iowa to some point until he eliminated them, and still remained a Nebraska commitment. And I think that there's a better way of kind of just presenting how you're handling a process or a change in the process. When you go about doing it that way versus having to go ahead and decommit, and as opposed to like establish the market, get in front of rule, take maybe that first official visit, and then see if you can't make your decision up by the December 21st signing date and then extend into February. It just, everything seems to kind of be very, very, very quick and rushed and rash decisions. And I think though that what gets Matt Rule at his high school today though is that he is an amazing talent. He is an incredible talent.
Yeah.
And I think that that's exactly what Matt Rule is looking for.
Well, here's the interesting part. I mean, because we talked about this often throughout the end of his recruiting process, and there was all the talk about him making other visits and those ultimately falling through, and then we'd end up seeing him on the sideline at the Nebraska game. And it was just like, okay, so I just got the sense that as he seemed more and more like a silent Nebraska commit for a really long time, I think other schools sort of came to understand that. So I actually get it, Munson. Like, I get opening it back up and publicly stating, look, come recruit me again because my options are open at this point.
Look, if you needed to publicly state, that's fine. I liked there's two different ways of kind of doing it, and I think that you can do it either way. Like I said, I think that there's some key milestones or some markers there that were just maybe not paid attention to, that maybe it made better sense to kind of do it. I personally would not want to decommit, where I think Malachi is at because of all the noise that the portal transfers are making too.
That's true.
Because
it's weird timing.
The timing here is just a little bit bizarre. And I think, like I said, I think it makes sense to maybe even just either secure your spot with Nebraska or tell Nebraska that you need to take a step back and reevaluate everything more fully. And then that maybe puts Nebraska in a little bit of a different mode too, where they're looking around now saying, hey, I don't know if we're going to get Malachi back in the class. We may have to go out and look for another wide receiver.
Right.
And as opposed, and I just, look, it's all a lot of noise right now, and that's a big loud note to add to all the other noise. It's kind of all the other noise that's out there right now when it comes to recruiting, the portal transfers, and keeping guys in the boat for the 2023 class.
Well, yeah, because you can go one way or the other. I guess I'll ask you about the guys
who are already committed to the 2023 class. Because then there's also the question of the guys on the roster as well.
Yeah.
As you previously, and that's a whole nother thing too. But I mean, there's still this group that's committed to Nebraska at the moment. And they're staying in the boat for the moment to see sort of what happens and how it goes. And they'll get visits, and some of them have announced that they've been sort of re-offered and re-talked to again, re-recruited by the new coaching staff. I'd imagine that's the sort of the first priority, or one of them, from the 6-7 people that are on Matt Rule's staff at the moment that could actually go out and contact recruits.
Absolutely. I think that there was a lot of those guys have been in contact with Coach Rule, even going back to as early as Saturday when he was announced. You know, he has been in touch with the recruiting class. There is an official visit kind of in the works, like you had mentioned, for next weekend on 12/9, where most of the 2023 group will be back in Lincoln. I know, like Benjamin Bramer said, he didn't really feel like it was necessary to do that, although I do know, I think I've heard that Nebraska will be out to see Benjamin tomorrow. I think it's a Saturday deal for him. I don't think it's today. And then obviously there's some guys, whenever you get to this point, there are some guys that fit when it comes to the new staff coming in and reevaluating the commitment class. And there are some guys that just simply won't. And we are, there are some expectations that some guys, may not be brought back into the 2023 commitment class, or will be told essentially, that we're going to part ways and you got to go someplace else and check other things out, and I think some of those guys are going to be probably better off as a result of kind of Nebraska saying this now, as opposed to getting them in a position to get them on campus and then figuring out that this just isn't for them and then just going through the process, 4-6 months later. So I think that it's going to start out there. I think that that's why Matt Rule is staying in Lincoln. You've got Katula, you've got Coleman. I think it's really interesting that Benny Nagoe, is going to get this visit today. I put in Tunnel Talk this morning. Would not surprise me, based on how Nebraska's current staff has been recruiting, that they're going to see the testing numbers, they're going to see the frame on Nagoe and go, this guy needs to be part of this roster.
Yeah.
And
also, there's the Iowa State situation right now.
Absolutely. I mean, and there's other things that are kind of going on there too. Look, Benny has always been very, very candid and transparent with me when it comes to where he kind of sits at and what he's evaluating. But I think a good meeting there today is going to get Nagoe really thinking about, if that opportunity comes back up again to get back in with Nebraska. But I think quarterback becomes interesting. They're going to be at Gretna, today. Zane Flores there. You've got Lincoln Kindholz that up in South Dakota, the Washington commitment that's going to take an official visit to Ohio State. Like, how does Nebraska maybe try to get back into that process? Things are going to get really, really, really interesting in the coming days. And I think that 12/9 weekend, seeing who else comes in with the commits is going to be interesting. And then that last 12/16 day is going to get really interesting too.
Yeah, I guess as far as the guys who have been offered by, for the first time from Nebraska by this staff, I guess, is there any takeaways from that group? It's like you said, it's moving really fast, and you just mentioned a couple of them there. But is there any broad takeaways from that sort of group right now? And remember, those the guys that if you're getting an offer right off the bat and you haven't previously been offered or contacted or talked to by Nebraska, like that means a lot in the first week of the job. So those are obviously high priority guys for Matt Rule and his staff.
No, you absolutely nailed it. I think you can kind of put some of the stuff together a little bit based on who's communicating and who's not. Out of the whole deal, there was only about 3 guys that I just could not reach for comment. And, it was Barry Jackson, Amari Miller, and Hayden Moore. And I know Nebraska is going to have to see Hayden Moore. I think that's going to be this weekend too. And I do believe that Nebraska has been in touch with Amari and Miller based on other people that are kind of associated or around that process, just not coming from Amari. And I think that Nebraska is really trying to stay in the hunt there. I don't have a great update on Barry Jackson. I would be surprised if all the 2023 commitments, are brought back or told that they still have a spot in the class. I think that there's a couple of really obvious ones that start in the offensive backfield. And I think that from there, because when you really think about what the offers have been so far, there's been 2 brand new offers to 2023 running backs. One guy in South Grand Prairie, Texas, just down the road from me, and another guy in North Carolina. And those guys look completely and totally different than Arnold Barnes. Arnold Barnes is a shorter, stockier, bowling ball guy, not a burner, and we've talked about this, but great feet, elusiveness, kind of gets to second level quick. These guys are both track guys. The guy in North Carolina is the state champ in track at the 100-meter, touts a 4.3840. So there's some dudes out there that Nebraska has really gone out that are track athletic speed guys, and that's really been emphasized so far in the early parts of the recruiting under Matt Rule. Even going back, and this is what was really interesting on Saturday. I'm traveling back to Texas, and I get word that Matt Rule is making offers himself. And he is offering a Virginia Tech commitment, Dante Lovett, who's a cornerback. He said in this press conference, I started working the minute that I was, cut loose from the Carolina Panthers. I was evaluating guys. I was watching film. For him to say that, and for Dante Lovett to be the first offer, that says a bunch about how much Rule really likes a guy like that. And Jalen Lloyd. Got to include Jalen Lloyd, because Jalen Lloyd was an offer on Sunday before he was even announced.
Yep. That's true. That came away right. So yeah, you can get an idea of the sort of priority right off the bat, and then where the coaches end up today. Let's go to the current roster. I mean, it's not going to be the last group of entrants into the transfer portal out of Nebraska that came through yesterday, but included Ernest Hausman. I guess how much you got to go out on the road and recruit and make those guys known. And I think they're going through, player meetings, with guys who are on the roster right now. But I guess how much attention do you think will be sort of devoted to, all right, we have to see what we got on the roster first, and then we can have a better idea of what we're recruiting. Because this is just such a go time right now. You got to sort of try to keep it in order as much as you can.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you've got 2 things that are kind of moving in opposite directions of one another, and you have to have inventory of what's kind of going on either side to kind of figure out how you're going to kind of put a roster together. And that's another thing I kind of tried to mention in Tunnel Talk in my last paragraph. It's like, look, I think we've also lost a sense of, what we can kind of expect in terms of the numbers, that the high school and the junior college guys are going to play as part of this class is concerned. They've removed that 25 hard number that used to sit over the top of the 85. You could only have 25 players join in a single year. But that was before, coaches were inheriting rosters and the transfer portal was there, and they were having, only had 45, 50, scholarship guys around. And then they need to be able to recruit up to that 85 number. So it's going to get really, really interesting there, because I don't know how much they're going to feel like they can take some time to develop with some guys, or they feel like they have some early contributors potentially, like a Malachi Coleman or Amari Miller, and a Benjamin Bramer. Those guys make sense where they sit out in the offense. But then you've got some guys that obviously are going to need some time to kind of develop. They're kind of, if the roster doesn't change in front of them, they'd have to sit around for a little while anyway to kind of wait their turn. And it's just like, then how much of that is needed? And then how much of what's needed of the starting 22 guys that need to go out in the field, next year in the fall? It's just, man, I know that they've made some portal offers already. There's been about 4 or 5. And I think that number is going to take off exponentially. And I think that you're going to start seeing a lot more of those guys once they are wrapping up classes at the campus that they're currently on. Will start taking trips to Nebraska, and don't expect those to all be on a Saturday, Sunday official visit. Expect some of those guys to be in Lincoln, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. There'll be midweek visits there, because they're all trying to wrap things up with their finals and get this decision out of the way to where they can go ahead and get moved and get there in January. So there's just going to be some really, really bizarre things that we're going to be tackling. What it feels like will be for the first time when it comes to this month.
I don't get the sense, and Rule is sort of new to the transfer portal as a college coach and NIL as well. I didn't get the sense from listening to him and then sort of how they've gone about it in the first week here that they were going to be really, really heavy into that right away. He talked about, not running guys off on the roster, and there's going to be some departures anyway.
And then, he has a high emphasis on developing guys. It just doesn't seem like a high transfer portal situation, even in year one.
I agree with you. I felt like in his press conference, he felt like nothing that he was going to needed to do in the first 4 days were really going to make a big difference in year one. He had a need to kind of let the dust settle, figure out where I'm at. I really need to understand my point of orientation, point of origin is right here. And I want to get to right there. And these things have got to happen between roster evals, meetings with those guys, get some time with my strength and conditioning coordinator guys to see how the roster is handling the workout, see who's serious about this thing. There's a lot of things that are going to happen. Plus, Sean had some great nuggets to tell and talk about how the roster, individual one-on-ones are going to start up again in the offseason, like in January, talk about, the things that are broken, talk about development, talk about all those other things. I think what Coach Rule is trying to do is trying to make this as little of a type of really devastating situation for these guys.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a huge shakeup. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to shake the whole thing up, man. It's gonna have its own impacts anyway. It's just that the matter of it is that he wants to minimize that, and he really wants to tell guys look, there's still a spot for you here, and we could take you and still develop you, and we just need to figure out what are the things that were wrong, and we'll tell you what we're going to do, and we'll see if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, that's the sort of sense that I get as well. But a lot to cover, and you guys at Husker Online and yourself, Munson, are all over it. And we look forward to the coverage, man. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
You bet, man. See you soon.
That's Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com. We owe a big thank you to, and we'll talk to BC next. We owe a big thank you to all of our recruiting sites. Sites that started off as recruit. So you got your On3, but it's known for its recruiting database. You got your 24/7 Sports. We'll talk to BC next. Recruiting database, Rivals as well. We owe a lot to them on these days, because then you can get a sense of where coaches are at and what their priorities are. You could find a lot out about a new staff that you don't know anything about, from how what they do in their first week and who they're going after and the types of people and players and stuff like that. So
they're always on it too. They don't let us sit for 6 hours and then I finally got around to reporting that. Pretty instant.
Here's where they are, and here's who they're visiting. So thank you to all of those in our market as we use your work and then we talk about it. That's how it goes.
It's the dream.
It's the dream for us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's for BC, who's just sitting there with a coffee at his desk for about 14 straight hours today, but he's got to do what he's got to do. So we'll check in with BC, how he's doing health-wise, mentally, and also the recruiting process, the roster. It'll be a little bit more current roster heavy, I think, with BC, and then we'll get to assistance with him as well. Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7 joins the show next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet, but if their internet comes from a cell phone network, you should know. It's just phone internet, not home internet. Keep your home up to speed with Cox. Cox internet is faster and has more reliable download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet. Cox is the real home internet you're looking for. Based on Cox analysis of Ookla speed test intelligence data Q3 2022 and Cox serviceable areas. Visit cox.com/internet for details.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
The Mavericks returned home after a road victory over the #1 ranked team in the country, Denver. Get your tickets for tonight and tomorrow night against Western Michigan. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your tickets at the Baxter Arena box office or at omavs.com/tickets.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift on Christmas morning. Join the Zone and J-Tech Construction and Solar as we stuff the truck. Today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tomorrow, December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at our studio at 5011 Capitol Avenue in Omaha. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. It's Stuff the Truck to benefit Toys for Tots with 1620 The Zone, 1180 The Zone, and J-Tech Construction and Solar.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we're joined by Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7 here momentarily. Remember our Stuff the Truck event? Let's call it a Stuff the Truck party going on right now in our parking lot here at 50th and Dodge. If you know where we're located at, 5011 Capitol. If you're one of the people who can't get anywhere without typing something into their phone, 5011 Capitol.
That's actually a good shout by you.
And remember, you can't make a left on Dodge. Please do not break that rule either.
Yeah.
If you're coming from the east, you're in great shape because we're right off Dodge. If you're coming from the west, you're gonna have to do some preemptive moves to get on the north side of Dodge.
You know, around the Happy Hollow area, you could
squeeze up that way.
Hop on Farnham.
Yeah.
And then go back over. You're kind of backtracking.
That's what I do.
The way you got.
I usually go up to Farnham and then across 51st. Or you could come up the north side. But we don't have to talk about, ways you can get to us. Just type it into your phone.
Well, I do think there's a large swath of the populace that I never go east of 72nd Street. Now's your chance.
Now's your chance. And you could talk to any of our fine NRG Media Omaha personalities out there. I see Nikki and Spicoli. I think Alyssa's out there too. I think John and Josh are going to be there at some point during our show as well.
Yeah, Nick is out there. I've been
Nick's out there?
I've been told he showered.
Oh, yeah, today's a shower day.
Today's a shower day. Yesterday wasn't.
Yeah.
We found that out. Learned a lot about Nick yesterday.
So go out and visit and bring a toy with you. I just saw a huge donation come from a minivan. We'll get the name of that person as we continue on here, but I just saw a pretty big one. So we're going to try and stuff the truck with help from our friends from J-Tech. And there's a couple Marines out there as well who are hanging out, taking your donations. They have a close relationship with the Toys for Tots. 10 to 6 today and 11 to 4
tomorrow. Josh and I will be out there basically right after the show today.
Yeah, I'll be out there after the show. Looking forward to kissing any babies that come through.
Well, you're going to kiss babies.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I mean, it's cold and flu season. RSV is pretty bad, so this sounds like a terrible idea. But I mean,
please don't do that.
Yeah,
don't kiss any, at least not unwanted babies.
Oh no, consent's important.
So we'll see if BC can get back to us. Obviously, it's a pretty busy day. But one of the things I want to talk about him with is the staff and sort of where we sit right now. So, like I said earlier, Nebraska does not have I think two of the most important hires that you can make just generally on a staff, or maybe specifically a Big Ten staff. Who's your offensive line coach? How does he fit with the head coach? How much experience does he have? And the same questions with the defensive coordinator. Who are these guys? What kind of experience? And how do they mesh and fit with the head coach and in their system? And how, I mean, specifically for the defensive coordinator, Matt Rule talked about he wants to play complementary football. Does it bother you at all? Are you anxious at all about the lack of an offensive line coach and a defensive coordinator at this point? I will say this. I don't know when they sort of targeted that. I thought maybe that they would want to have it, sort of a little bit more lined up by the weekend, because those spots, I mean, defensive coordinator and particularly offensive line, you want to hit the ground running and get as much time as you can there from the recruiting perspective. But those are spots where you really, really got to develop relationships and make it known that you're gonna recruit. So I don't know. I guess I would describe my anxiousness as a slight anxiousness at this point.
Yeah, especially since in the opening presser you talked about how those were super critical, huge, important positions to you.
And I would say this as well. We know Mickey Joseph isn't in the building anymore. We know that Bill Bush isn't in the building anymore, and Brian Applewhite and Barrett Ruud. We don't know the status of Donnie. We do not know the status of Donnie Raiola. And there was a couple tweets that went out from recruits over the last week that said, hey, they got offered by, Matt Rule and Coach Raiola. So what does the immediate future look like for Donovan Raiola as well? I think that would probably make folks maybe a little bit anxious as well, considering what that was like. I'm not saying that it's a lost cause if that's the case, but it is sort of interesting considering that he was, maybe one of the most maligned coaches this year for a much maligned group, and we haven't really heard much about his status yet so far. And now we're joined by Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7. BC, hello. You busy?
You know what? It's good. It's good. I like this stuff. It's nice to have things popping, and I like most of it, I should say. Obviously, some of it this week we could do without. But
sure,
it's that time of year, and the new staff always brings new optimism. So that part.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Especially with a new coach, this is probably one of your, your site's biggest days or like period of days here. As they're trying to put together a coaching staff and you're trying to put together, what their priorities are and who they're recruiting, like all that's going on all at once.
Yeah, I mean, every full-time assistant comes with like 5 or 6 different angles. It's like, who's he dealt with in the past? What's his experience level? What regions does he recruit? All that sort of stuff that you're trying to figure out kind of on the fly, and that's kind of exciting. How they operate, like in Satterfield's case, everybody I think is kind of curious what that's going to look like, and I don't know that we have a great answer yet, but all that stuff is for the next 9 months to put together, but certainly in the first week we try to do as much of it as we can, even even if it's sometimes with a blindfold over our eyes.
Well, one of the things that's cool about today is you get to sort of see, and obviously the coaches are spread out around here today for the initial sort of recruiting period, but you get to see sort of what the priorities are, whether it's from offers that went out the last week or where the coaches show up today and over the next couple days. Just generally, what have you been able to gather about whether it's a specific, player or type of player that they like, or is this sort of more of like, hey, we just want to get in the building, we want to shake hands, we want to meet and sort of start to develop that relationship, sort of plant the seeds first and then go from there?
I think you're going to see them go after some guys who you saw with Jalen Lloyd right away. They offered him, when he didn't previously have one from Nebraska, and he's got just freak, numbers as an athlete, as a track athlete. And I think you're going to see that across the country, and you've already seen examples of that with this staff. Rule was very much known for that, I think, during his time at Baylor and Temple, where he really leaned on some of those test numbers and the stuff where, okay, this guy's got the measurables, has the athleticism that's charted. Now we can take and develop that. And they have a lot of confidence in their skills as developers. So I think you've already seen that part. And then I think the big thing people are noticing today is just being local. I know EJ Barthel was out in North Carolina with a defender, but you're seeing a lot of the guys who are full-time and already official. They're local. They're at Creighton. They're at Bellevue West. They're hitting some of those main spots, and I think that's probably going to continue. So we heard that, Rule's going to have an in-home with Malachi Coleman, who obviously decommitted yesterday, and he can spread his vision to him and see where that goes. So I think that's always a big deal when a new staff arrives, to immediately plant the seeds with people within your boundaries, and show we're not going to look over you. You're going to be a priority. And it's also big for the fan base. I think that they really like to see that.
Would you expect Nebraska had 3 players enter the transfer portal yesterday. My guess would be that's not the end of that, as guys sort of make their decisions and they have discussions with their coaches, and the new coaches sort of get on staff here at Nebraska. But I don't know, like even for a changeover, and this is going off of some of what Rule said at his introductory press conference, like they're not going to run anybody off. That doesn't mean people aren't going to leave, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be like this huge mass exodus of players. It feels like at this point it's going to be a relatively good blend of people that they like and guys that were maybe recruited by the previous staff, and then of course on the roster, guys that were here and want to try it again with this coaching staff. Am I wrong about that? It doesn't feel like a huge mass exodus.
I don't know yet. You might be right on target there. Yesterday I was kind of surprised Hausman popped up. I really was.
For sure.
And I guess it's a matter of who, not how many to me. There's a list we could probably make right here on the air, but I won't. Of like 8 to 10 guys who it's like, man, they really need them back. Ernest Hausman would be in the top 3 or 4 to me.
No doubt. Yeah.
So, you're talking about a guy who just, we haven't seen a lot of guys their first years where you're like, that guy is like all Big Ten type player, like he could be. And Hausman, I think, splashed that to us near the end of the season. So I think the important thing to remember with this conversation is guys can come back, I do. And I know that's Captain Obvious to some people, but I do think it gets lost sometimes, like, oh, he's in the portal, he's gone. And he very well might be. And I know Hausman had a note, he's that maybe people would read into like, oh, maybe he is gone. But a guy can pull back and come back to the program. So I think there's just going to be some guys who explore their options and they're like, here I am. I don't know yet who my position coach is in certain cases. I don't know who the coordinator is if you're on defense yet. I'm just going to at least put my name out there and people can kind of come recruit me. And Nebraska is going to have to recruit them too. But Matt Rule knew that when he arrived. He knew he was going to have to recruit his own roster. And what he said Monday was, I share my vision, what we're going to do, how we're going to work, and hopefully a lot of guys like it. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You know right off the bat who's not, made for what that vision is or doesn't connect with it quite right, and you move on. So I think it'll be interesting because there is this window that's open for a while through January where guys can enter the portal, and we might see more. We might see a couple more today, but we also might see some where they get to know the position coach a little bit in the weeks ahead, and then they pop in the portal after that if they don't feel like it's a fit. So something to keep in mind. This is just the beginning, so people should buckle up for it.
What's your best guess on the leads that Nebraska has at defensive coordinator right now?
I don't have a great guess, really, Connor. I mean, I haven't heard a lot about Phil Snow, so I'm not sure that's
I know.
the
Yeah,
one.
that was one of the obvious ones that popped up, and it just nothing's materialized.
I know I think he's 66, so that's not like a guy couldn't keep coaching, but maybe, I don't know, maybe he's not wants to keep doing it anymore. I'm not sure. Just haven't heard his name a lot, and he was a guy we thought could be a favorite. A guy who, I don't know, you're just interested in is like Jeff Collins, who's been a head coach, has a defensive background. There's some connection there. But I think it could be outside of that, the initial names on this one. I think for the most part, what's happened is everybody on Saturday morning when Rule was hired kind of put out a list of like, okay, these are the assistants, he had at Temple and Baylor. And honest to goodness, it's really holding true.
I think it's 100% right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it could end up being a deal where everybody pats themselves on the back, and we need to not do that because it was probably pretty easy, but where maybe like 8 of the 10 guys, were people that were on those lists, and it was just kind of a natural fit, guys he trusts and believes in. But I do wonder if there's a change or two at certain spots, and D coordinator is one of those I think you keep in mind if he's got a surprise waiting for us. So I don't have a good lead. The 2 names we thought at the beginning were Snow and maybe Jeff Collins, and after that, I'm not sure yet. And it's obviously somebody you'd love to have in place pretty soon, so defenders know who the guy's going to be, but it's also possible that guy's coaching, so you got to keep that in mind.
What was your read on Casey Thompson? And obviously that was Monday in the immediate sort of aftermath, and they, Rule and Casey had met just, really once and talked about it prior to that. And I don't know how this week has gone, but he seemed like a guy that was at least open to giving it another run, and it seemed like that door might be open for him. I guess what's your current update on Casey Thompson, if any?
I mean, I can't see why Rule and staff wouldn't want him back. To have a QB with that experience who gives you a transition into whatever you want to do after it, I take that all the time. I think we got to go back to last year at this time and think about, it's very tricky sometimes to get the right QB in the portal. This isn't like, PlayStation where you just fill in, okay, we got the guy, QB1 now. It can be pretty tricky. Had Case, I mean, they only won 4 games, so you don't want to act like Case, how many more wins did they get with Casey than the other guys? It wouldn't have been a lot because they didn't win that many. But we saw the level of play between him and the others, and that was quite the wide margin. And this isn't to knock Chubba Purdy. He could grow as a QB and as a player. But remember, like December, everybody was pretty fired up. Like he was one of the names, and it's just like, oh, that sounds good. Chubba Purdy, that's going to work. And imagine if Casey Thompson wasn't here and like what that QB room would have looked like this past fall. Pretty bleak.
Bad.
I mean, that's just the truth. So that's why I would want Casey back, because you don't know exactly what you can get out of the portal. You could pull something great. That does happen. But there's just as much chance you won't. And then it's pretty tough your first year where you're dealing with QBs who really got to grow in a hurry.
It's interesting. Yeah. And
go ahead.
And BC, like, so it's not just that position, it's over the entire roster, but traditionally, and Rule's talked about this, like he's been a guy where, you have a younger set of guys initially, and after you sort of, clear the deck, and we're going to put some young guys in, and they're going to learn the hard way, and that will pay off in 2 and 3 years. And specifically, he's done that at quarterback as well. When he talked about it, it didn't strike me as that was exactly going to be the situation that he was going to inherit, whether it's with the roster or specifically with the quarterback situation here. I get the sense that this might be approached a little bit differently, just by the sense of what they have on the roster right now, and that's a lot different from what they found when they got to Baylor.
I mean, this job's a little different than those situations he previously had, right? I mean, at Temple, his first year, you can build it and win 2 games and kind of be under the radar. Like, you don't get walloped by the media every week nationally, and you're not the butt of jokes and stuff like that. You're kind of under the radar, and that's not to knock Temple. That's just the way it is. And then he goes to Baylor, and Baylor was such it was a dumpster fire when he took it over because of what happened with Art Briles. So everybody around the country is like, well, we're not going to hear from them for a while, and kind of wave their hand at Baylor. And so that allowed Rule, I think, some time to, you could win 1 or 2 games that first year and people be like, well, that's sort of what you expect for what happened there. Nebraska might be a little bit different. I'm not acting like they got to go win 7 or 8 in the year 1. I think it's going to be a building process that takes some time. And I thought he did very well at giving, here's the reality of it. It's going to be hard. That said, I do think if certain guys return and they can do well in the portal in some certain positions, there's going to be a hope around here that Nebraska could challenge and maybe get into a bowl game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's so much to ask.
That's not crazy.
I think it's funny. I've done some national things, and they now act like it's strange if you dare suggest that should be a goal that Nebraska can jump to 6 wins, which people 75 teams across the country do every year. So I know it's a building process, but at some point we gotta put our feet down and say, you should get to 6 wins. So anyway, I think with that in mind, bringing Casey back, if you could do it, by all means. And Casey Thompson's, it's a new era of college football where you might see a couple 24, 25-year-old guys who are sort of on the fringe. Maybe they don't have a great shot at the pros, but they can get good NIL money. Why wouldn't you strongly consider playing one more year of big-time football where you're on TV every week and you're getting some nice money on the side? I sure would.
I know you probably haven't thought about this much, but do you see any upsets this weekend on Conference Championship weekend?
You're right. I haven't thought about it at all. Who's playing? I'm aware Michigan's playing Purdue.
That is true. Yes, we have.
I got that one right.
We got LSU going against Georgia in the SEC. I'm gonna go no on that one. We got TCU and K-State in the Big 12. That's a maybe.
Yes, that would be my upset pick. K-State.
I baited Bryan Christopherson into taking K-State over TCU in the Big 12 title game. You heard it here first.
What's your pick?
I actually think K-State could be a likely upset pick as well.
TCU's been playing with fire a little bit this year, and K-State, I don't know, they're dangerous. Some weeks they look like they have it together, and they can they have their moments when they burst ahead and they'll score 21 in a hurry. So I'll take K-State as my upset special, and I'm thankful that we're not sitting here waiting to see if Chris Kleiman is going to somehow on Sunday morning be announced the head coach. Imagine if a week like that were transpiring around here right now.
Yeah, if we especially with everything that's happened, this past week would have been a bad deal. BC, thanks. Appreciate all your hard work, man. Keep grinding, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. I don't even want to think about that. Do not want to think about what this week would have been like had Nebraska not had a head coach.
Yeah, if you'd been waiting all week.
And it was still quiet, Trev was still underground.
Yeah. You'd know
bunker.
why, but you'd still feel very uneasy.
there would have had to been like a report on Monday. Somebody would have had to say like,
okay, here's the guy. We don't know it yet.
Nebraska
but...
zeroed in on Chris Kleiman as their head coach. Like somebody would have had to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we would have been full on panic mode. And then there's also USC and Utah. USC's only a 3-point favorite at the moment. But if you're rooting for chaos this weekend, you want, and you're rooting for the committee to be sweating a little bit, you are rooting for one or both of USC and TCU to lose. And more so, TCU is more of the chaos agent. Or K-State's more of the chaos agent. Because if K-State beats TCU, then you have an argument between TCU and a one-loss Ohio State. If USC loses, it's automatic, like it's Ohio State, right? So
chaos.
Ooh. And if there's anything that happens in the top two with Georgia and Michigan, yeah, that would be insane. But I'm not really entertaining that at the moment. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. Coming back with the odd news featuring Josh Odson next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
6th straight losing season, tied for the second longest in history.
The second worst stretch of football ever. And thus, given the decades that those took place in, the 40s and then the mid-50s into the early 60s, for the majority of this fan base, this is the worst stretch of football that they've ever seen.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and more mild Friday. South to southwest winds will help temperatures climb into the upper 50s by the afternoon. Cold front comes through, though, after 4 o'clock. That'll flip the wind to the northwest, and temperatures will crash through the evening. A wind advisory will remain in effect until 10 p.m. with gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour possible. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Do you hear what we hear? Omaha Steaks has tons of jobs and hours. Right now, we're hiring for a variety of seasonal positions in our warehouses. Plus, all positions come with a great employee discount on food you can use all year long. To view available job openings and to apply online, go to omahasteaks.com/jobs or text STEAKS to 22633 to apply today. This holiday season, dash through the dough and earn extra cash working at Omaha Steaks.
The holiday season arrives, and that means that you have parties to go to, gatherings to go to, and it might be time for you to upgrade your winter wardrobe. Head to Rockbrook Village and Rossi Clothiers to do so. Celebrating over 30 years, whether it's a brand new tie, a great new shirt, a sports coat, or the full-on suit, they will be able to help you out there and make sure that you are looking good this year for the holiday season. Celebrating over 30 years, Rossi Clothiers, Rockbrook Village.
Expectations have never been higher. And for the 10th year, 1620 The Zone is your home of Creighton basketball.
He wants the three. Yes, sir!
The Creighton Blue Jays are on 1620 The Zone.
Jays win!
From the creators of Kentucky Fried Chicken comes the Taste Good holiday event of the year, KFC's $5 Famous Bowl, starring crispy chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, and everyone's favorite, melty cheese.
I'm in love with you, Famous Bowl.
Treat yourself to the bowl critics are calling a whole lot of food that even a Scrooge couldn't resist.
A humbug, that's tasty.
Gift yourself a KFC Famous Bowl for just $5, now on the app and at a Kentucky Fried Chicken near you. For a limited time, prices and participation may vary.
The Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont is just a quick sleigh ride from Omaha at Woodcliff Lake. Get a head start on all your stocking stuffers with gift cards from the Woodcliff Restaurant. Winters at the Woodcliff Restaurant are warm and inviting, like a Santa's workshop, but more fun. Stop fighting traffic, parking, and one-way streets. Slow down and enjoy a fantastic dinner at the lake with family and friends this holiday season. The Woodcliff Restaurant is Santa approved. Check them out at thewoodcliffrestaurant.com or on Facebook for specials and events.
Hey everybody, it's Michael here for Ted and Wally's. One of the things that Ted and Wally's does is that go along with the seasons, whether it's the summer or it's the spring or it's the fall, and of course, the winter and holidays, and the holiday flavors are amazing. Let me suggest a couple of them for you. Coffee beignet and ooey gooey cake. You are going to love both of them, and so will your family and friends. Swing by the 2 locations, whether it's Benson, next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market, and get the holiday flavors today. Grab a gift card while you're there as well, and always tell them Severe sent you.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
I was just told that Mary J. Blige came by and donated some toys for the Toys for Tots.
Nothing but illustrious guests at Stuff the Truck.
Did I hear that right?
I think we probably lost something in communication. I don't think Mary J. Blige.
Oh, what's this? My other producer is telling me something else. Mary and Jay. Mary and Jay.
Oh, okay.
Jay and Mary. Not Blige.
Challenge issued to Mary J. Blige, though.
Come on down!
She would like to stuff the truck. She's performed at 2 Super Bowl halftime shows. She has never performed at Stuff the Truck.
At Stuff the Truck. Yeah. Even if it's Mary J. Blige, it's still AM radio.
Mm-hmm. I adore that woman.
So Kevin Warren is currently this is Kev Watch, by the way.
Which Nebraska game is Kevin Warren at?
Kevin Warren went to about 9 Nebraska games this year, by the way.
He was a season ticket holder by the end of the year.
He was at least at 2 or 3 home games. He was at the Ireland game. He was at the Iowa game.
So that's 5 right there, right?
Yeah, that's 5 just right off the bat. I don't know what else Kev did this year, but he went to 5 Nebraska games at the very, very least. But he is currently stumping for Ohio State.
Okay, that makes sense. That's his job.
Ralph Russo, Big Ten's Kevin Warren to Associated Press, quote, "When you look at the body of work that Ohio State has put forward, they've been a top-ranked team the entire season. If they've played 48 quarters of football, they have 46 and a half excellent quarters of football."
That's an odd data point to come up with. I mean,
Well,
I don't
of
disagree
course,
with it.
It's
but-
all about how many quarters of good football you play. Warren continued, "As you clearly evaluate who are the 4 best teams in college football, I think based upon how they performed throughout the entire season, Ohio State is one of those teams. I think that they have clearly shown what they can do." Is that his job? Because it just sounds sort of weird.
I mean,
Also,
it's his job to get as many Big Ten teams into the playoff as possible.
It is,
like-
but this is on the eve of the Big Ten championship game when Michigan is a clear front runner right now, and
yeah,
like,
maybe that's a quote for Sunday. or
like
something.
if Purdue wins, that's good news. I mean, Michigan doesn't get left out. I don't think if Purdue wins, I don't know. Maybe they do, or maybe Ohio State gets in. Like the Big Ten's not getting left out.
I wouldn't think so.
The Big Ten's not getting left out of this thing. You don't need to stump for Ohio State. Come on. I mean, I get it. Ohio State runs this B, but you don't have to like sit here and be like, "I love you, Ohio State." Give me a break.
Well, typical with Ohio State and anyone who roots for Ohio State, you got to wipe their butt. You got to tell them they're special. They're a unique snowflake.
I'd personally rather watch them get waxed up and down the field by Michigan.
Do you remember when Michigan beat Ohio State at the Horseshoe with a backup running back who only had the use of one hand?
This is my favorite bit that you do now. Yes, I do. It was less than 1 week ago.
I know. Good times.
It was awesome.
Great oldies.
All right, Josh, what is odd today?
Chris Paul. No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, we're not?
Do you want to?
I mean, I don't know. It's odd. It's Kanye tweets.
It's an unreliable narrator, to say the least, but I cannot immediately dismiss it. It feels like something all three parties would take a part of.
Kanye West claimed that Chris Paul and his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, were,
intimate.
And
he walked in on it. And
he just tweeted it. He just tweeted it out of nowhere.
In the middle of a very vile Twitter series of rants.
Separate from the rest of the stuff.
Which we don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Also, there's a tweet from LeBron James.
He wants to talk about Jerry Jones.
Dated July 6th, 2021. 1 down, 3 to go at CP3.
What?
What could that be about? July 6th, a little late for hey, you advanced in the playoffs.
No,
right?
weren't the playoffs going on at that time?
It might have.
2021.
It's probably playoff related, but kind of interesting now, given a new set of data points.
No, I don't think so, because the playoffs were way late in 21.
2021.
What?
NBA playoffs.
They won on July 6th. They won game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Oh,
good try, Josh. Fake news.
Well, hey, I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit with some spicy gossip. The hot goss.
Fake news.
Well,
you don't have to talk about that though.
Okay. Let's talk about the World Cup.
Yeah, we love the World Cup.
Yeah,
we love Qatar.
It's going on in Qatar. They're doing a great job over there. No notes. No, I will give all the notes, but nobody wants to hear that because we all are on the same side. There's been a camel pageant as one of the main attractions.
A what?
A camel pageant.
Jeez, Josh.
No, that's
Be nice.
It's a beauty pageant for camels. She batted her eyelashes and flashed a toothy smile for the television cameras at the, I'm sorry not to be, I'm a dumb American here, Mazayan World Cup, a pageant held in the Qatari desert about 15 miles away from the World Cup stadiums. This is a camel who did this, by the way. Think Westminster Dog Show crossed with the Miss America pageant, except for camels. Again, dumb American, gonna butcher it. Nazah is a majestic light-haired creature that overcame several preliminary rounds and hundreds of other camel competition to win the pageant on Friday. I'm going to guess that was earlier this morning or last Friday, not sure which. The event, which was designed to bring cultural awareness to World Cup visitors, was sponsored by the Ministry of Sports and Youth in conjunction with the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, the local World Cup organizing committee, which is completely above board.
Mm-hmm.
Nazah was one of 15 camels who competed for the crown, parading by fans while wearing a bejeweled collar and draped with strings of gemstones. Quote, "I thought our camel was better than Ronaldo and Messi," joked Hassim, part of the family that owns Nazah.
Funny.
These events,
real funny.
These events are held regularly throughout the Middle East, where the people have connected with camels for generations.
Yeah, I just yeah, I guess this makes sense, right?
Camel beauty contest?
Yeah, we love our dogs, and
oh yeah,
you know, they're everybody's got camel over there.
There's equestrian competitions here in the States.
Absolutely.
I imagine this is similar.
Australia's got their kangaroos.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a kangaroo or a koala.
Are we counting the Chris Paul story as a story we did?
Sure.
Okay.
Unless you got two more really good ones.
I mean, I got one that I know is good.
Okay.
So I'm going to shoot with that one.
All right.
Okay. We go to Florida, where a golfer has bit off another man's nose in an argument.
A golfer?
Over a golf game. And he fled in a Tesla. An argument between two men over a golf game led one golfer to bite the nose of the other in the parking lot of a casino, police said. Mark Wells, 51 years young, of Biloxi, Mississippi, initially fled the scene in a Tesla before turning himself in, according to Tampa police chief. The nose was not found as the victim was taken to the hospital.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
The whole nose?
I don't know how much he got, but
At least
enough to where they reported that the nose was not found.
I got your nose.
Officers responding to a complaint of an assault at the Hollywood Casino Monday arrived to find a victim with a facial injury. The investigation determined that suspect, Mark Wells, bit the nose off of the victim. Officers were told that Wells and the victim had been arguing throughout the day over a golf game they played at the resort. Wells was charged with felony mayhem and booked into the Hancock County Jail.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like if somebody said something to me wrong on the golf course and it's like aggressively not a good day. I don't know. I've never actually thought about doing anything, but I feel like I could throw some stuff. I'm not a golf club thrower. I usually stay pretty calm, but I get angry.
Good poll
I don't
question.
think we're gonna bite anybody's nose off, though.
Have you ever thrown a golf club?
I mean, I guess I would say yes to that.
Okay.
I guess I would say yes to that. But like it's a toss, and it's a toss to where I'm already going. I just need to release something out of frustration.
Yeah, you need that outlet, and you're it's so wide open. The space is so vast that you just I can't. I'm gonna chuck this thing.
Hey, so Josh, earlier we were talking about rivalry trophies, right?
We were, yes.
We're going to have the return of a great rivalry trophy here during bowl season.
Oh.
Did you know that the Wasabi Fenway Bowl is a thing?
I did.
They're going to play. I think this is the first time because the last 2 years it got COVID.
Yeah. I don't think we've actually played this game, but it has existed.
It's sponsored by Wasabi,
Yeah.
which I didn't know that Wasabi was just a thing by itself. Cincinnati will play Louisville in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, which means we will have a return.
Keg of nails.
Of the Keg of Nails. The Keg of Nails.
I'm working on a little something back here, and the Keg of Nails was just off the list.
The Keg of Nails will be returning on December 17th when Cincinnati and Louisville meet in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl.
Now that's
All these
interesting
words.
because those are two rivals that said, here's an opportunity to play each other in a bowl game. Neither of us are cowardly enough to reject that notion.
Interesting. Why do you say such a thing?
Well, there was a potential bid for Missouri, the backwards Hicks of Missouri, to play the fine folks of Lawrence, Kansas, the Jayhawks, in a famous rivalry game. Could have been resurrected for
It's called the Border War.
Yeah, for the bowl game purposes. And Missouri said, no.
Dumb.
In the SEC, it just means more. So we would like a different bowl assignment, please and thank you.
It's dumb.
Again, not all people from Missouri are backwards Hicks, but
A bad mistake by them, though. They should have taken that game. That would have been fun for everyone.
would have been a great revenue generator.
They would have probably lost, but fun for everybody anyway.
Who could you put Missouri in a bowl game where you'd go, Missouri's the pick
Yeah,
here?
Missouri will win. It's a good question. I don't know, like some MAC team, maybe.
And I know Tigers fans. Hey, at least we're in a bowl game. That's very true. Nebraska, not in a bowl game.
That is true.
They do hold the Heroes Trophy, though.
Nebraska, famously not in a bowl game.
Again.
Hey, did you know that there is a MAC football game on right now?
Yes, I did. It's a makeup game. ESPN Plus.
Why are Akron and Buffalo playing each other right now?
I believe they have to. Like, there's some significance behind the game.
I guess Buffalo's trying to get to their 6th win.
Yeah, I believe that was it. Yeah, Buffalo's sitting at 5-6, so if they win, they are eligible. And we, as has been reported a lot this week, we don't have enough teams at 6 wins to fill all the bowl spots. So it is kind of important.
It's so funny. And then Toledo and Ohio will play each other tomorrow for the MAC title game. But this is just another MAC game. Akron and Buffalo
on ESPN Plus. Big weekend for ESPN Plus. We're going to get into it in the last segment of the show. Yeah, Reavers, and not even them. Like the whole volleyball tournament's on ESPN Plus this weekend. Creighton soccer
All right. We'll look forward to that later on in the show. Halfway home on a Friday, the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Zuber for Ted and Wally's. One of the things that Ted and Wally's does is it go along with the seasons, whether it's the summer or it's the spring or it's the fall, and of course, the winter and holidays, and the holiday flavors are amazing. Let me suggest a couple of them for you. Coffee beignet and ooey gooey cake. You are going to love both of them, and so will your family and friends. Swing by the two locations, whether it's Benson, next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market, and get the holiday flavors today. Grab a gift card while you're there as well, and always tell them Severe sent you.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift on Christmas morning. Join the Zone and J-Tech Construction and Solar as we stuff the truck. Today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tomorrow, December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at our studio at 5011 Capitol Avenue in Omaha. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. It's Stuff the Truck to benefit Toys for Tots with 1620 The Zone, 1180 The Zone, and J-Tech Construction and Solar.
When you're a kid and it feels like no one is in your corner, it's a pretty tough place to be. And let's not forget the spikes in depression and anxiety from the pandemic. That's where Teammates can help. When kids have mentors through Teammates, they're more likely to feel engaged in school and more hopeful for the future. Just by simply being there, mentors can make students feel confident in their own skin, even when everything else seems to go wrong. Become a mentor and be there for a student by going to teammates.org. A message from J-Tech Construction, proud supporter of Teammates Mentoring.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
So we get this from the Equal Bank inbox here. Connor at 1620thezone.com. Excuse me. Matt writes in, he says he wonders about the whereabouts of the Missouri Bell, the Missouri-Nebraska Victory Bell. Does Nebraska still retain the Bell Trophy?
Great question.
This is another random question for Trev or somebody over there one day. Like, where's the Bell? Because Nebraska won the last game against Missouri in 2010. They theoretically are in possession of the Bell, but where is the actual, like, is it just in a storage room somewhere? I'll hit up somebody in the equipment office.
Yeah, you would display it, right?
I don't think so. I think it would just probably be sitting somewhere, right? Because like,
I think it'd be a waste if it was just in like a storage garage.
But what
somewhere.
do you do? Like, what's Nebraska going to do with the Heroes Trophy this year. Like, you don't put it in a case. I think you just let it sit. You probably just sit it down somewhere.
On a table in the football offices, right? Like, hey, this is the trophy we play for each year.
Maybe. So Nebraska. So that got me thinking. Thanks to Matt's email. So Nebraska currently holds possession of the Victory Bell, which is one of the 4 trophies that Nebraska plays for. Nebraska only plays for 4 trophies. Now they have rivalries, quote unquote, with a lot of schools. Nebraska and Oklahoma famously don't play for a trophy. Nebraska and Kansas don't play for a trophy. Nebraska and Kansas State don't play for a trophy. Nebraska and Colorado don't play for a trophy. Nebraska and Texas don't play for a trophy. Nebraska and Miami, don't play for a trophy. So you only have a trophy with Missouri and your former Big 12 mates. And then your 3 closest rivals in the Big 10 West, which is Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. As dumb as the $5 bits of broken chair trophy is, I think it's actually recognized by both. It's recognized by both schools.
Mm-hmm.
So Nebraska is in current possession of 2 of their 4 rivalry trophies.
And when Nebraska gets all of the trophies, they can snap their finger like Thanos and be back.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's right. Kind of exciting, right? We got 2 of them. You get 2 of them.
I mean, this has got to be like a huge bell, right?
I just want to. I want to know where the bell is.
Where is it?
I want to know where the bell is. Well, I'm going to reach out to some people. During the break. I'll
some back channeling.
Yeah, I'll get an answer. I'll see where the bell is.
Okay.
Do we know where the Missouri-Nebraska bell is? And can we Nebraska's not going to play Missouri anytime soon, so can we have it? Or can we right? I mean, it would be an odd enough request.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many weird things do you think the equipment people got over there? Like, just ask.
Oh, I bet a lot.
Or could you bring it in and, we'll promise to give it back if Nebraska and Missouri play each other again. But the Big 12 and where Nebraska was at, they did not really play for trophies. And then when Nebraska joined the Big 10, they said, all right, here's what we'll do. We'll make up 3 trophies for you guys.
We'll force this thing.
They play for the Heroes Trophy, the Freedom Trophy, and the $5 Bits of Broken Chair Trophy. Mark texts into the show. He says, this is Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. That's because the $5 Bits of Broken Chair Trophy is really cool. And Travis, Husker fan of Dallas, is saying you show some damn respect to the Bits of Broken Chair Trophy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm not saying that it's not important that Nebraska wins it. It's just a little odd, right? It's not quite as regal as like a jeweled shillelagh or a bell or a big trophy.
I think you guys are going to love my top 5 today.
There's something to it. Joel tweets in, he says, sad to think that the Freedom Trophy has never graced the halls of Memorial Stadium. Yeah, so they made up the trophy after 2012. Is that what Joel's saying? I'll have to look that up. Because Nebraska hasn't beaten Wisconsin since 2012.
I couldn't tell you what that trophy looks like.
I think it looks an awful lot like the Heroes Trophy.
It does.
It just looks like a trophy.
That's like a waving flag. Look at that.
A lot of freedom.
That's neat.
A lot of freedom.
That's a very large base, too.
So Nebraska and Wisconsin met for the first time in 1901, but they were not playing for the Freedom Trophy back then. So I'm going to check on the Wikipedia page. Okay, yeah. So prior to their meeting in 2014, the athletic departments, both universities announced the 2 teams would play for the newly created Freedom Trophy, thus cementing that's how you really do it. You create a trophy, it cements the fact that they are rivals together. Well, what happened in that 2014 game? Melvin Gordon ran for 408 yards. Maybe we should just throw away the Freedom Trophy. Like if Nebraska ever wins it, they might just throw it in the trash can.
We don't like this thing.
This is a curse. This is a scourge to us. I got to find out where the bell is. We're gonna do some. It might be a Connor Happer Show investigative report.
Oh, love that.
Where is the bell? Start the hashtag on Twitter. Where's the bell? Find us the bell. I know Nebraska still has the Pound the Rock somewhere, but they were always the owners of that. Shout out Bill Callahan. But I don't know where the bell is. Josh tweeted us in. He says, with Nebraska's victory over Missouri in the final league meeting, these teams, it's just a copy and paste from the Wikipedia page. Memorial Stadium became the apparent final home for the victory bubble. Where is the bell? Where specifically is the bell?
Find it for us.
Like, could someone right now go find the bell and take a picture? Brian and Talon both tweeted in. They wanted to remind us about the Bussin Bowl trophy. Well, unfortunately, Nebraska not the current owners of that either.
Did you see what he's had to go through to try and get signed by the Falcons?
So I briefly read his deal. He was going to get signed. Will Compton, we're talking about. He was going to get signed, and then it got held up because he has too many business deals.
He has too many endorsements and business deals on the side to play for the NFL.
That's weird.
It contradicts the official of the NFL.
That's so odd.
Yeah,
that's so weird. So is this happening or not? Like I saw.
Well, he had to tweet like, "Hey, can someone tell the union to help me out here? Because clock's ticking."
Yeah, and I hope that gets resolved for him. I mean, play a couple games in the NFL this year, get to his 10th year in the league. Pretty sweet. Weird that it hasn't happened already. Will Compton and his brand new teeth.
I like that he doesn't hide. These are new teeth. These are new teeth.
I got new teeth. That's for sure.
I went up a tax bracket, and I got some new teeth. You would too.
All right, we're gonna find the bell. Hashtag where's the bell, or whatever. Josh, did you do find the bell or where's the bell?
I did. Where's the bell?
I like that. That one's better actually. John emails in the Equitable Bank inbox. He says, Bo took the bell when he was fired. I'm taking this with me. I'm out of here. Ding dong, ding dong. They fired me. Ding dong. Sean Eichhorst says the C word. I'm taking this bell. All right. More up next in the Connor Happer Show at 1620 The Zone.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's four-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision, the only office in our area that specializes in all 7 forms of modern vision correction. See if you qualify for a procedure today by calling them at 402-558-2211 or going to kuglervision.com.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton basketball is here, and this is a season you won't want to miss. Affordable tickets for the whole family start as low as $10. Get your tickets online at gocreighton.com/tickets and cheer on your Blue Jays all season long. That's gocreighton.com/tickets. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available.
you must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. Charles Drew Health Center in Omaha can help. Just call 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call Charles Drew Health Center at 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment.
This is Staples.
So rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS here in store.
Huh. What will Staples think of next?
Right?
No, seriously, I'm asking, what will they think of next?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online with 1-hour pickup. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping. Ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out in the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
All right, once again, make sure you stop by our Toys for Tots event right now in our parking lot, 5011 Capitol Avenue, a.k.a. 50th and Dodge, big sign out front. And you can tell there's something going on in our parking lot. Our friends from J-Tech are here helping us out and bring along a new unwrapped toy. We'll stuff it in the truck. We'll donate it to Toys for Tots. And I think Josh Peterson's out there right now, hanging out, shaking hands, kissing babies.
Challenge him to a 40-yard dash.
Hey, we could probably pull it off. I'm not feeling the best today. I'm not at my peak.
You're gutting it out.
But we're working on it.
We appreciate that about you.
Oh yeah, we're grinding.
No days off.
Adam tweets at the response to the tweet that so we did a tweet at Happer Show, where's the bell? And I said someone must know the whereabouts of the Missouri-Nebraska bell. Adam tweets in, Freely tweets in, he says, I think it's in Lincoln. Nebraska beat Missouri in their last meeting in 2010. Yes, but specifically, Adam, where is the bell? Josh tweeted back into the show, and I did a little research on this during the break, and there was one story written that I'll mention. We won't stay on this very long, trust me, but just a quick follow-up. Josh said that he thinks it's at the WIC Alumni Center. It's at the Alumni Center in Lincoln, because it was just doing some brief research. It was like it's more of like a campus, not so much like a football team thing. So the bell, a story from the DN, the Daily Nebraskan, right before Nebraska and Missouri played each other in 2010 for the last time, it had a lot to do with each school's Innocence Society.
What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's some sort of fraternity.
Okay.
I'd always heard of it. I don't know what it is. I think they wear like gowns or capes or something like that. It's very confusing to me. Weird stuff happens on college campuses.
Based on the very little info you've given me,
yeah,
I don't like it.
The innocents who safeguard the bell when it's in Lincoln are sad to see the tradition go. But he said Saturday's game will be a celebration of bell swapping tradition with their honor society that dates back more than 8 decades. So what they did was that they were going to each get a commemorative replica bell. So there's currently a bell in Missouri.
Hey, they didn't earn it, though.
Commemorating the final game and commemorating the bell's history. So here's the line that I wanted to get to. Innocent Society alumni advisor Kevin Meyer said the society is so confident Nebraska will beat Missouri, they haven't considered where the bell will go if Missouri won. Quote, that's a topic we haven't discussed and won't make any contingencies for because we have every expectation that they will win.
Hell yeah.
And they did.
I believe that we will win.
Yeah. So as far as where the whereabouts of the bell after that, I still do not know.
I got a good vibe. We're going to find out.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll get there.
People like us. They want to help us.
Put the word out. Tell them.
Also, did a little looking into the Innocent Society. Still don't like it.
So I think it's an honor society, right? So anything that ends in society is sort of odd, right?
It's the Chancellor's Senior Honorary Society at UNL, composed of 13 men and women who apply during the spring of their junior year and are selected on the basis of academic excellence, unparalleled leadership, and selfless service to the university and community.
Yeah, they wear like robes.
Yeah,
red robes.
Members are known throughout campus, but the society still remains secrecy through rituals and a secret meeting room. Someone edit that Wikipedia page. That's terrible grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Members work to promote school spirit and create an appreciation among the student body of the greater values for which Nebraska stands. Notable alumni.
I don't think.
Former Nebraska AG John Brennan.
Okay. Nice.
James Milliken, former Nebraska president.
Former Creighton guard James Milliken.
Kyle Vanden Bosch.
Kyle Vanden Bosch. Nice. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Maybe we can hit up Kyle and ask where the
Kyle Vanden Bosch. Do you know
the bell?
Where the bell is?
Where's the bell?
Kyle Vanden Bosch probably tweets, right?
I don't know.
Kyle
Vanden Bosch. All right. Let's talk about Creighton from last night real quick. So just general rule of thumb. Shooting 4 of 27 from 3, probably not going to win you any games. Probably not going to win you any games on the road, and definitely not going to win you any games on the road against the number 2 team in the country. But somehow, somehow, Creighton was in the game and down by basically just a bucket with about 2 minutes, a little more than 2 minutes to go in that thing. Honestly, I came away relatively impressed, but also very confused.
Cleaned it up towards the end, made it look good.
I mean, not only were they missing Josh, they were like, they just looked bad. It was, it's a new building. So it's just the circumstances that makes me go here. But I imagine that something was off with the sight lines because, I mean, Baylor Shireman was just missing. Baylor Shireman's a great shooter, just missing everything. I also felt like, this is just from watching, I also felt like they couldn't gain. They had a really bad night on defense too. I felt like they couldn't, like, this is really specific, and I don't know that anybody would tell you this, but like they couldn't gain any traction on the floor. It's like they were slipping around a little bit. It just felt like all their movements were slow and they weren't cutting very well. Like it just didn't seem like a very good situation to play in. Anyway, whatever. Excuses. They lost. And they would have liked to have the win on the road, but it's obviously not going to be a loss that hurts you a whole lot. But you are on a 2-game losing streak heading into Nebraska on Sunday.
Gotta have it.
It's a must-win game. I mean, yeah, it's a must-win game. You don't want to lose to a team that we don't think will end up being very good, especially at home.
What if Nebraska just went on a run where they beat their rivals in everything?
Look, this is the thing. And Nebraska is feeling themselves right now. 2 straight Power 6 wins again, one by 20 and one by 16, 17, 18. Creighton just got beat up in Maui, won 2 games, but got beat up. By the way, all the teams that went to Maui basically lost last night.
Yeah, Arizona got popped.
Everybody got popped that was in Maui last night. So Maui hangover, I think, was a real thing.
Arizona now 4th in the country, but it last in the Pac-12 or something like that.
Nebraska, Creighton, had the unfortunate follow-up game of going to Texas. And they had to bless the mood, and they did not bless the mood. So on this Nebraska game, and I always like to say this is one of my favorite games of the year, one of my favorite sporting events of the year. I love college basketball. I've been a Creighton fan basically my entire life. I got into Nebraska basketball when I covered it for the last 7 years. So I just love the intersection of the two fan bases. It's a lot of fun, and obviously there is general intersection of the two fan bases because they likely root for Nebraska football as well. Not everybody, but likely root for Nebraska football as well. So it's an interesting sort of conundrum when Creighton's on a little losing streak and Nebraska's on a mini winning streak. And but I was looking into some numbers just on the series history here. Speaking of series history, we were just talking about rivalry trophies. Maybe Creighton, Nebraska should do a rivalry trophy
in basketball. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Also, here's my one request. Well, they did it in Lincoln the year Nebraska won by 1 billion. Red jerseys versus blue jerseys.
Color.
They did it for the women's game a couple weeks ago. Red versus blue. Creighton wore blue at home. Creighton, wear blue at home. Nebraska, wear red like you were going to on the road. That is a cool jersey matchup. Do it again. I think it looks especially cool actually when Creighton goes to Nebraska. There's just something really cool visually about a little bit of blue in a whole sort of sea of red. But a little red to sea of blue is cool as well. Wear the colors. Wear the colors, please.
Let's play this up.
Let's do this. So that could be part of the, sort of agreement for the game. But just looking into the numbers and the history. So Creighton hasn't lost to Nebraska at home since the NIT game in 2004.
Whoa.
13 regular season matchups in a row at home. Creighton hasn't lost to Nebraska at home in the regular season since 1995. 1995, Josh. That's a long time.
It is a long time. People forget.
Yes. And then Rob Anderson had some more on this. So
he always does.
As he does. Creighton has spent most of the last 2 decades in the lead when hosting Nebraska in the regular season. Creighton raced out to a 31-11 lead in 05, 40-13 in 07, 19-9 in 2009, 38-8 in 2013. That was the most memorable one. 18-4 in 2015, 37-7 in 2019. And most recently when they met in Omaha, it was just 44-40 at halftime before Creighton built up a lead as large as 27 in the second half. In the past 11 regular season meetings in Omaha, Creighton has led for a combined 371 minutes and 27 seconds.
Whoa.
Compared to Nebraska's total lead time in Omaha of just 40 minutes and 5 seconds. 300 hold on, let me do some quick mathing here. 371 minutes is like a little over 9 games. And,
oh my.
And Nebraska's led for a grand total of just a hair over 1 game. That's leads in the game. Creighton's opened up a double-digit lead in each regular season game in Omaha, whereas Nebraska has not led by more than 9 in any of those contests. And the last one they did was in 2003 and 2004. So, yeah, when Nebraska's come to Omaha, it has been a absolute hell on earth for them. It's been not fun for them. I don't know. I want to see how this Nebraska team sort of reacts on Sunday, and if they're feeling pretty good about themselves, and how good do they feel? Obviously, Creighton needs to get right, but it comes at an interesting time where the Jays are, needing something to go right for them and needed to get back on the right foot. But also, it's a rivalry game, and you're going to get Nebraska's best shot, whatever that may be. As I would say this, if we're previewing the game, those first 4 to 8 minutes are going to be big. If Nebraska can hang for those first 4 to 8 minutes, you like your chance to stay competitive, at least for a while. But if you're Nebraska, you don't want to look on the scoreboard and have that screenshot live forever that says 38-8 or 37-7 and 40-10. And that stuff, you don't get it out of your mind. And Creighton fans, I think, have already made them aware of it this week, and will continue to make them aware of it as the weekend progresses.
Connor, can I provide a recruiting update?
Yeah. Do we have one?
Very important.
Who are you recruiting?
I'm not recruiting anyone.
Okay.
Ed Foley is out on the trail today.
Oh, what's Ed doing?
He went to Runza for lunch.
Oh, yes. Whoa.
Love this guy. Ed Foley, that's my dude.
I got to find this tweet.
It's been sent to us. Thanks to Rob for sending us the tweet from Ed Foley.
Ed Foley.
I don't follow the Ed Foley yet, but there, clicked it. Follow.
First time recruiting in Omaha, and the Runza magnet grabbed me.
Looks like he went.
Is that a Mountain Dew?
But it's not the right color.
Why is it
that color?
Green?
Yeah. I'm glad you said it because I was thinking it, but didn't think it was enough to. Oh, and
you get a Runza.
Some guy who used to work here says that good to have you at Westside this morning. So Ed Foley at Westside confirmed.
Some guy who used to work here.
Yeah, some guy who used to work here.
Say my man's name.
Damon Benning.
He was at. So Ed Foley was at Westside.
Yeah.
So Ed Foley brought his Runza to Westside.
I don't know if he brought the Runza there or went to Runza after
he
Westside.
Ate the Runza in the car.
The timeline is unclear, and I don't know anything about Ed Foley. He absolutely ate that in the car.
We got to hit up Damon. We got to ask him if he brought the Runza with him, if he brought Runza for everybody else.
Did he get the Runza sandwich, or did he go, hey, you know what? First time here, I got to get the basic cheeseburger, and then I can expand on the menu.
All good
a lot of questions for Ed Foley.
Questions. Also, where's the bell?
I have tweeted Taco Bell and Kyle Vandenbosch looking for this bell.
Josh will find it. Don't worry. Okay, so your top 5 is going to be top 5 rivalry trophies?
That is correct.
Love it.
Oh, I should make a graphic for that here during the break.
There's definitely visual evidence of these things. We'll come back with that next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
How many miles must you travel for your journey to qualify as a road trip? I think the road trip is about why you're doing it more than how long you're doing it.
I really like John's angle on this. Part of the road trip is about what you're doing at the place.
That's what I just said.
I know, but I don't think going to Lincoln and spending a day there and then coming home is a road trip. I just think that's going to Lincoln and hanging out for a day and then coming home. That's a day trip. That's not a road trip.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and more mild Friday. South to southwest winds will help temperatures climb into the upper 50s by the afternoon. Cold front comes through, though, after 4 o'clock. That'll flip the wind to the northwest, and temperatures will crash through the evening. A wind advisory will remain in effect until 10 p.m. with gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour possible. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers. conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
The holiday season arrives, and that means that you have parties to go to, gatherings to go to, and it might be time for you to upgrade your winter wardrobe. Head to Rockbrook Village and Rossi Clothiers to do so. Celebrating over 30 years, whether it's a brand new tie, a great new shirt, a sports coat, or the full-on suit, they will be able to help you out there and make sure that you are looking good this year for the holiday season. Celebrating over 30 years, Rossi Clothiers, Rockbrook Village.
Fresh food, and not just small portions and high prices. Les Voltaire is anything but. Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts. Dinner with friends, special occasions, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines and craft cocktails with your favorite someone. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home, just like they've been doing for more than 2 decades. Les Voltaire just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at lesvoltaireomaha.com.
The Mavericks returned home after a road victory over the #1 ranked team in the country, Denver. Get your tickets for tonight and tomorrow night against Western Michigan. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your tickets at the Baxter Arena box office or at omavs.com/tickets.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
All right, things are heating up at Stuff the Truck. John and Josh out there.
Oh, I thought you meant the weather because it's pretty nice out.
Things are not they're heating up in terms of the donations.
Well, it's the lunch hour.
Sure is.
Make a quick little trip if you
we would
have the time.
invite open for everybody. Go and stuff the truck out in our parking lot, 5011 Capitol. Until 6 o'clock today. Josh and I will head out. We'll switch places with John and Josh after our show. So we'll exactly switch places. They'll come and take our spots, and we'll go and take theirs.
Probably a crossover in between.
Yeah, there will be a moment where none of us are out there, but they will take your donations in between anyway. A new unwrapped toy that we will deliver to Toys for Tots, trying to make it bigger than ever this year. So help us out. And also tomorrow, there will be a chance for you to do so as well from 11 to 4. Josh and I will be out there for an hour tomorrow as well. Matt Rule has now appeared at Lincoln East High School. So he's making his way east.
Love it.
Ed Foley got his runza, which is nice. Nebraska coaches out in the area today. But Josh's top 5, based on our conversation about the Missouri-Nebraska belt, which I assume is number one. The greatest rivalry trophies that we have.
That's right. College football, a lot of rivalry trophies. We'll count the 5 biggest here.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
I shouldn't say biggest because these are just my favorites. They're in no way meaningful to a lot of people. Number 5 is the Troll.
The Troll?
The Troll. It was voted the ugliest rivalry trophy. It is a game played between Concordia Moorhead and St. Olaf.
Okay, nobody.
Look up the Troll, Connor.
The Troll.
Been playing this game since 1974. It is made of moss and pine cones.
Oh my God. Oh,
and it's hideous.
It has a penis nose.
Whoa, hey. That's called a Pulisic nose now. We changed it. I mean, you love America, right?
I look at it. That's really funny. Okay,
it's an ugly trophy.
I'm glad this made this list.
Yeah, we're promoting awareness in the number 5 spot.
Google the Troll trophy.
Number 4.
Number 4, the Battle for the Bones. It's the Rack of Ribs trophy.
Yeah.
100-pound bronze rack of ribs. Come on.
I love this.
I'm in on this. Between Memphis and UAB, they haven't played since 2012, but with the AAC realignment, they're getting the game back together as Memphis and UAB are now in the same conference. Trent Dilfer going to coach for the Rack of Ribs trophy.
So exciting. So exciting. This is a great trophy. It's perfect. It's perfect for college football. It's
exactly.
perfect for these two places in particular.
There's a rib cook-off competition in the parking lot before the game.
It's a celebration of ribs.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good pick.
Good pick. Another good pick is number 3.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Connor and I love a good bit, and that's where the trophy in the 3 spot lands. It's the $5 Bits of Broken Chair trophy.
Oh.
It's a bit.
Homer.
This is an excellent trophy that is also hilarious.
I don't think it's that funny. I like what they do for charity, and they call it the charity
charity. Okay,
right. That's cool. Like that's good.
It's funny that it became a thing, not just like a Twitter joke for a weekend. Like that's where my love of this trophy comes from. That somebody had the stick-to-itiveness to like, okay, we got to design a trophy, make a trophy, and
it's still in the category of like dumb things.
Oh, it's dumb.
Right? Like if Nebraska and Minnesota actually kind of don't like each other. Like this doesn't reflect their disdain toward each other. You know what I mean?
No, and maybe that's where part of it is too.
It's a fun, cute, collaborative effort, and we're going to get together and play for a trophy at the end, and we're going to donate a whole bunch of money to charity, which is awesome.
Yeah, but I also hate Minnesota.
It does not give you the sense of like, this is what you get when you defeat your rivals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a broken chair.
Here's a joke. Here's a joke trophy, a gag gift.
Also, I don't know that Nebraska is it official? I don't know if it's official. Like I don't think they actually quote unquote acknowledge it. I think it's just paraded around within the fan base. I think this is kind of disqualified.
Likely
Josh.
as an unofficial trophy game.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we might have to retool. Maybe the bell has a spot. Maybe the bell makes its way in.
The bell definitely belongs on the list with the Rack of Ribs and the Troll. All right, next.
Number 2.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
Connor, it's the Jeweled Shillelagh.
That's just perfect.
They've played for this thing 93 times. This is actually the Jeweled Shillelagh that you saw last weekend was actually the second Jeweled Shillelagh trophy. The first one was retired in 1995. The Notre Dame Club of Los Angeles started this. They donated the trophy to the rivalry game, which gave us such great moments as the Bush Push, which I hear that pretty much every week that I watch a football game. I hear the Bush Push. Also,
Reggie Bush is on TV a lot.
The security guard in Die Hard is watching the Notre Dame USC game.
Oh.
which for some reason was being played on Christmas Eve. But I mean, that's a continuity error in an otherwise perfect movie.
Maybe he was watching a rerun.
Yeah, maybe he taped it, and you know what? Like, hey, I'm finally getting around to it. Christmas Eve at Nakatomi Plaza is, it's going to be a light work day. I can finally pop that the tape into the VCR and watch the Notre Dame USC game.
Now, here's the other thing with the jeweled shillelagh. There is also 2 other shillelaghs.
Really?
Notre Dame plays for 3 shillelaghs.
Oh, come on. They go into the well too many times.
There's a jeweled one, and then they have a shillelagh with Notre Dame or with Northwestern, and they have a shillelagh with Purdue as well. Notre Dame, like every possible game they could have is a trophy. Or something, maybe a shillelagh.
Well, when you don't have a conference, you got to force some tradition in there.
Jeffy Smack tweets in, he defends the chair.
Hi, Jeffy Smack.
Says, dude, the $5 Bits of Broken Chair trophy came from a Husker fan telling the Minnesota mascot that if we win, you give me $5 and I smash a wooden chair over your head. How does that not portray an awesome rivalry trophy?
I don't think you're out on the trophy. I think you're out on the officialness of the trophy.
That's right. I'm having a tough time.
Okay.
I'm having a tough time with that part.
It's an area of gray.
Yes.
That I ignored due to my bias homerism.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
Number one,
the greatest rivalry trophy of this time or any other time. It comes to us from Big Ten, the home of the rivalry trophy.
Make it so, number one.
Number 1.
So many damn trophies in this conference. It's Paul Bunyan's axe.
Paul Bunyan's ass.
Introduced in 1948. The game dates back to 1890, Connor.
I'm aware.
Scores are painted on the handle, which is 6 feet long. A new axe was rolled out in 2000.
Yeah, they ran out of room.
Yeah. And until 2014, the rule was if you were the team holding the axe and your team won, you took that axe onto the field and chopped down the goalposts.
Chopped down the goalposts. That's right.
A wild and horribly unsafe idea.
Mm-hmm.
Which I am here for.
And they still go up to the goalpost and fake chop it down. Wisconsin won this game every year from 2004 to 2017.
Ooh, that's a long stretch.
That's a long time without the axe. Long time without the axe.
All the more satisfying when you get it, which is why Nebraska will hold that Freedom Trophy high one day.
Minnesota has now won it 3 in a row. Or 2 in a row. You're going for their 3rd in a row next year in Minneapolis. They'll cut down some more goalposts.
Okay.
All right, Josh, thank you. It's top 5. Josh's favorite rivalry trophies.
Good list by me.
We will come back and have a chat with our good friend Stephen M. Sipple from HuskerOnline.com next on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
With almost everything in life, you have choices. You can pick a lot, a little, or somewhere in the middle. So shouldn't there be an internet plan that's just as clever? One that allows you to add TV or home automation whenever. That's why Cox now offers flexible internet plans, giving you all the services you desire at nothing you don't require. Additional services can be added at then current regular rates. All services subject to residential customer service agreement and acceptable use policy found at cox.com/policies. Restrictions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his 4th. But you know what they say, 4th time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Here's an opportunity for business-to-business salespeople. NRG Media is looking for someone who gets excited about helping local businesses grow. Are you an idea person who can create and execute a plan? We should talk. At NRG Media, we create local marketing campaigns designed to meet a key challenge. On air, online, on-site, audio, video. It's all part of what you could do. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Business-to-business salespeople? Apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer. He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Steve Sipple.
Hut, hey! The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay? Omaha!
Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
People are noticing that you did not include the Floyd of Rosedale on your top 5, Josh. Would you like to make a statement?
I would like to make a statement. My official statement on the Floyd of Rosedale trophy. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's a big pig.
It's awesome. It's a big pig.
What's awesome about it?
It's a big pig. The exact thing you don't like about it is the exact thing I do like about it.
Also, guys, Iowa, are we serious? You're rooting for me to praise Iowa?
I don't like either of the teams that play in it, but I like the trophy itself.
It's a fine trophy, but I'll take the rack of ribs that the pig came from.
Stevan, are you a fan of the Floyd of Rosedale?
Yeah, I am. I'm surprised at the stance of your producer, frankly.
I am as well. We could just shun him for the rest of the interview.
Shun him.
He's out. How you been, Sipple? It's been a while. We haven't talked.
I know. I don't know what the deal is. What, have you been gone?
I was gone a couple times, and then last week was Black Friday. I don't know if you were. I don't know if you remember that, but there was a football game last week.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Does it feel like it was more like 3 years ago than it was 1 week ago, or is that just the time of year we're in?
No, it feels in some ways like it never happened. Now listen, that's not exactly how I feel. In fact, what I've been telling people, and I mean this more, is there's a lot of games happening. You might even fit into this category to a certain extent. There's a lot of games over the years I don't even remember being at. I literally don't remember going there. Like even road games and places. I'm like, did I go to that city? I don't even remember it. But that game in Iowa, I will never forget it. I'll always remember that day, in that game, in that setting, and all that, and what was going on, and it was fascinating.
Yeah, no, it was, and that one was pretty memorable. I agree, but a lot has changed in our worlds since then. I guess let me just start here. What are your initial impressions? We don't have the full staff yet, but the guys that have been brought on, obviously they're out recruiting, and they're gonna be doing that for the next few weeks and getting into the transfer portal and things of that nature. What's your initial impression on the staff that Matt Rule has assembled so far?
It's okay. I mean, I'm not really into snap decisions on guys. I guess what we're talking about is judging their past.
Yeah, it's more resumes, right?
Yeah, I guess what I'm most interested in is how they do here, and with this. And every job is unique, and I'm more that person who would prefer to give my impressions after a year. After a year of working at Nebraska, it's fine so far. It looks fine. It doesn't overwhelm you. It's not going to overwhelm anybody with its quality. I don't think it underwhelms anybody necessarily, maybe, but I'm okay with it. And frankly, I haven't, for instance, went into a deep dive of EJ Barthel. And he's a running backs coach. I mean, I've looked a little closer at Marcus Satterfield, and it's mixed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's things about it you look at and you really like, and there's things about it that you wonder about. The overarching thing that I'd wonder about if I were a Nebraska fan is, a lot of these guys haven't hit the Big Ten footprint
for sure.
And that's something they're going to have to prove themselves in that regard. But I don't look at it as a negative until it's a negative. We'll see what it looks like.
Does the thought sort of continue to be that, especially with a couple of the key hires that we're watching for with offensive line and defensive coordinator, is the thought that those guys are coaching in the NFL, or they're sort of working on something, or maybe it's different for sort of each one, but I guess because you've heard that sort of floating around, is that the thought that you have right now too?
Which positions?
I'm sorry, DC and offensive line.
DC, I think he's probably just working through it. I mean, I know he's been turned down at least once. Offensive line coach, he was working through that. I think that will. I think he's working through that one. What was the third one?
That was it. Those are the key ones, I think. Those are the ones.
And I think quarterback coach is pretty big, and I don't know where he's going with that. I've seen some names on defensive court. I just heard that one turned him down. Nothing about it there's nothing that alarms me about any of this.
Yeah,
this is just normal procedure stuff. I do think it's important now to watch this defensive coordinator thing. I hear people saying Jim Leonard. That's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now.
In our dreams, maybe.
Jim Leonard's not going to be the defensive coordinator at Nebraska. Snow is not going to be the defensive coordinator at Nebraska, the guy who's been with him before. they did. There's no question for the offensive line. They interviewed Donovan. Now I don't know what will happen there. My guess is they'll go another direction, but they did interview him, and it's not like they interviewed anybody else on the staff. So now I don't know where that's going at this point.
So, you mentioned that quarterback's coach. Does it feel like it's less? I mean, because the report was Pete's before. What has sort of happened with that situation?
It's hard to say exactly. There was Pete Thamel came out with it. Sean. I mean, I think there's no question that Pete is in that picture, but I think he was just in the picture. But I think it could happen. It's possible it's happened. But Jake is coaching. He coaches for the LA Rams. He's an offensive assistant, and he's in a pretty serious situation. They're not going to have this. They're not having the season they want. So some of it is that, I think. Those things get kind of complicated. Actually, he would have to be released from the Rams to start. I don't know. I don't know where that is right now.
Yeah. Steve Sipple's with us from HuskerOnline.com. Okay, let's move over to the roster a little bit. And who knows, but we heard from Casey Thompson earlier in the week. Let's stick with him. Where do you think his head's at right now? It's probably hard to tell, but my sense that I got from the staff was that they would like to have him, and Casey was at least open to the possibility. Is that something that you could see being a connection for Casey Thompson next year?
Yeah, absolutely. It's again, no quarterbacks coach in place that I know of, right?
Yeah,
that and how much has Satterfield been able to talk to Casey? I'm sure I gotta think they've talked, but how deeply? Those things. I mean, it's hard to say where it'll go, especially without a quarterbacks coach. And also you allow for the fact that it might just be Casey wants to think it through, right?
For sure.
He doesn't have to decide right now. Then also they might have, very possible Marcus Satterfield has a guy, right? So has someone he has designs on bringing in. So that's all. This is the kind of the nature of the beast in a coaching change. There's a lot of moving parts. Conversations are pretty fluid. I've got to think Casey's a viable option for those guys.
I would think so too.
Yeah, I mean, Casey comes off a really strong performance. You saw when he came back how valuable he was, and I don't pretend to know what they're going to do with that quarterback situation.
Well, doesn't it? And I was talking about this with BC earlier, but like, doesn't it strike you just generally as a situation where, and Rule talked about this too, but it doesn't seem like they're going to run that many people, if anybody, off. And they'll be pretty. Now, who knows what happens with the staff? Guys will leave on their own accord, but it does feel like there is going to be a sort of blending, at least from the roster perspective, of what they're going to bring in and guys that they inherit as well.
I think so, which is what you'd expect. It's just fluid.
Yeah.
There's some really key players that we're not sure what they're going to do, like O'Shawn and Garrett Nelson. What are those guys going to do? I'm really watching that situation because they're going to lose Caleb Tanner, obviously, because his eligibility has expired. Now, if O'Shawn Mathis goes to the NFL and Garrett Nelson transfers, you've gutted that position.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gutted. Jamari Butler's fine, Gunnarson's fine, but there'd be I know what I would be doing if I were Rule, and that was the situation. I'd be heavy in the portal, heavy. Right. You got to go get guys. You got to go get veteran guys on the edge, and that's hard to do. I mean, you talk about premium positions where you're going to have to fork out some NIL money. I mean, O'Shawn Math, I don't know what he was getting, but it was more than we're getting. So it's all kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I mean, he puts out a tweet early in the week and he says, I'm leaning toward the draft. And I think there was something about, Mickey in there as well. That all seems like it's up in the air, obviously. Is there any sense on what O'Shawn Mathis does?
I mean, the Mickey thing's not up in the air.
No, that's not up in the air, but it makes his situation weirder, right? Anybody who was waiting on Mickey
might make it less complicated.
Right.
He was waiting to talk to Mickey. Okay, Mickey's gone. Maybe talk to his defensive coordinator. He's gone.
But it's not like Mickey's going anywhere else. Like Mickey, he's not going anywhere else, right? So I like that.
No, I'm just the guys that were coaching him are all gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, that's all. This is just a product of a huge transition, and we're very early in it. And it's inevitable. We've been through these things before. There's a lot of questions that you want to answer to, but it's just not realistic sometimes.
I guess I never asked you this just overall, Sipple, since we haven't talked in a while. And Matt Rule is the hire. I guess what do you think? I know you were sort of hinting throughout the entire process. Go big. How did this one land for you?
Good. I mean, it had to be someone like this. I think, especially in light of what happened at Wisconsin, where they go get Luke Fickell. You needed to get somebody with a profile and somebody who's, I keep saying the same thing over and over, but we do a lot of radio shows around here. Someone who steered big ships through rocky waters. And this guy's done that. And he's done it at a high level at two places. Temple's not a huge ship, but it's big enough. It'd be too big for some guys to handle, and he handled it really well. And Baylor's a legitimately big ship. And then he went to the NFL, and although he failed, that was a great experience for him. He said, and he talked about it, you heard him on Monday. He learned a lot from it. And those are all very important parts of this, as is his work as a D-line coach and an offensive line coach. He's that oriented. He's oriented that way. And I just like the fact he just flat out said we're not going to be running a spread offense here. I mean, they're going to run a system that's befitting of the league they're in and the division they're in. I like the fact that he's only 47. He's got a lot of energy. He's a high energy, hot motor guy. Now, some people are going to say, well, if to get that job, you have to be. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't call Mike Riley a high energy, hot motor guy, nor would I call Scott Frost that. So I think that picture improved. He is going to be a grinder. I wouldn't say that about the previous two coaches. I mean, a grinder, 5 a.m., 10 p.m. guy. He's told people all it is for me is my family, my church, and football. That's it. And now, again, not all coaches would say that. I like that part of it. I like his background I like his Penn State background, even though that concerns some people. I'd say the thing that gives me some pause is he hasn't recruited this footprint. And then when he talks about going down to Texas, I guess you can, but I don't know if you can make your living in the state of Texas when you're playing in the Big Ten. Now, he didn't say he's going to make his living there, but he talked about it pretty prominently, so we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, that's definitely where his where his footprint is. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you got to kind of continue to monitor these assistants, but I thought they needed to go get a big fish, and they got one. You can debate how big, and you hear those debates. But I believe Trev Alberts when he says he was 1A. And I can see why you would want it if that's what Trev settled on. I get it. I understand why.
Yeah. All right, Sipple. Appreciate it. Look forward to your continued coverage. Thanks for it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. We'll do it again.
Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. We'll always have him. We'll always have Sipple on. Always a good chat.
He does a lot of radio shows, though.
He does do a lot of radio shows. Coach Prime rumors are continue to fly.
He's doing an announcement, a scheduled announcement. Sunday, he will inform the world where he will be coaching next year. He's going to do the hat thing.
Yeah, he really is. It's amazing. So we look forward to that, but there are some reports that are pointing to Colorado at the moment.
Is he going to jump? Wow.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll have our picks coming up here in just a few minutes, but more on the other side on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. A lot of people will, I had some bids here and just got to go with this guy.
We always ask the customer, did you get the referrals on those companies? Do your homework and check how long they've been in business. We try to stay really competitive. Doesn't matter if it's a Da Vinci wood shingle, asphalt shingle, vinyl siding, or hardy siding.
Just go with somebody who has the track record, right?
Right.
There's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
The college basketball season is here, and if you're looking for tickets to the biggest games, be sure to check out ticketsforless.com. Whether you love the Huskers, Creighton, or UNO, ticketsforless.com has the best selection of seats with all no per ticket fees. Plus, you can save on every ticket when you order using the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com. That's right. Simply enter the code THEZONE at checkout, and you'll save on basketball tickets to Nebraska, Creighton, and UNO. And you'll save just because you're listening to the show as well. Shop for seats for your favorite events now and save at ticketsforless.com.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. One World Community Health Centers in Omaha can help. Just call 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call One World Community Health Centers at 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply in person this Thursday and Friday at the Florence City Hall from 9 to 5:30 for an on-the-spot interview. Unable to attend? Apply by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Qatar, here we come.
Kristen's travel agency has one goal.
Talk to you soon.
The world's biggest soccer tourney.
The hotel is 7 miles from the stadium. Are you serious? Did you email the transportation company?
Now he needs an Arabic interpreter on his roster.
I don't speak it either.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOOD for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOOD for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HOOD.
Santa Claus is coming to town, and he's bringing his friends. Starting Black Friday through December 23rd, see the Santa's Magic live show only at Omaha Children's Museum, featuring beloved characters, including the Snow Queen, Santa's elves, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and of course, the big man himself, Santa. After each performance, children can share their wish list with Santa and have their picture taken. You won't want to miss it. Visit omc.org for more information.
We got a quick segment here because we got to get to our picks. So it's perfect time for me to just tap into something that I saw this morning. I'm probably into the hot stove than most. More into the hot stove than most. In baseball off
I would say
season.
that. Yeah, you're a baseball guy, and
Sometimes I'll put on MLB Network in here, and they're just talking about what could and might happen and off-season outlooks and stuff like that. I was reading through Ken Rosenthal dropped some nuggets today on The Athletic. And I was reading through it, and I came across a Royals nugget. Here's the Royals nugget.
Okay.
And now this is going to make Ken Rosenthal enemy number one.
I'm very intrigued. This is a great tease.
Ken says, Salvador Perez is close with new White Sox manager Pedro Grifol, his former catching instructor and bench coach with the Royals. So close, it stands to reason that the Sox might at least think about asking for Perez in a trade.
No. Couldn't do it.
And then he went on to explain that for a bunch of different reasons, it's probably not going to happen. So he got a little better. But the damage was already done. How dare he even suggest this?
Yeah, don't speak that into existence.
The Royals, not just trading Salvador Perez would lead to a revolt, at least at this stage. Maybe in a couple of years, I don't know. At this stage, trading Salvador Perez would lead to a full-on fan revolt.
Yeah.
Trading Salvador Perez to the White Sox I don't even know what would happen. I would drive down to Kansas City immediately and start picketing by all the new ballpark sites that they're trying to build upon. It'd be horrible. So screw you, Ken Rosenthal. How dare you report that? Don't even put that in the ether. And that's why I was triggered this morning. I drove to work angry because of Ken Rosenthal.
I understand that as a Royals fan. That's the face of the franchise, for better or worse.
You don't trade that guy.
Yeah, no.
You can't. Sorry.
Cornerstone.
I don't care if they have a future catcher of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Does not matter. Stuff the truck's still rolling outside. Drive past it. It doesn't look too bad out there right now. Little win, and we got our fine folks out there as well. John and Josh, Nick is out there. They'll be coming in shortly to do their show, and we'll replace them outside in just a little bit. So come by, say hello, drop off a toy for a tot. And we will happily accept. And our friends from JTech are out here helping us as well. In our parking lot, 5011 Capitol, 50th and Dodge. You can't miss us. We got all our tents up going on. Bring by a new unwrapped toy. We'll fill up that trailer and we will take it off to Toys for Tots today until 6 and tomorrow 11 to 4. And Josh and I will be out there for an hour during the middle of the day tomorrow too. So come on by and hang out at least. And if you could spare a new toy, we would absolutely love that too. That is for Toys for Tots this year in our parking lot. Once again, 5011 Capitol Avenue. We'll come back, make our picks for the weekend. Conference championships, and Josh has one more crack to catch me. I have extended my lead. Am I ungettable at this point? Not mathematically eliminated yet.
It's time for a Hail Mary.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Connie Mack only won 9 pennants in his 55 years as a manager. What a bum.
Could you imagine sports radio in the time of Connie Mack? Boy, I tell you, this Connie Mack guy just can't get it done. Can't win the big one. Can't get over the hump. Only 5 World Series. Connie Mack, more like Connie Hack. Am I right?
That's exactly how they talked.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Windy and more mild Friday. South to southwest winds will help temperatures climb into the upper 50s by the afternoon. Cold front comes through, though, after 4 o'clock. That'll flip the wind to the northwest, and temperatures will crash through the evening. A wind advisory will remain in effect until 10 p.m. with gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour possible. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
The holiday season arrives, and that means that you have parties to go to, gatherings to go to, and it might be time for you to upgrade your winter wardrobe. Head to Rockbrook Village and Rossi Clothiers to do so. Celebrating over 30 years, whether it's a brand new tie, a great new shirt, a sports coat, or the full-on suit, they will be able to help you out there and make sure that you are looking good this year for the holiday season. Celebrating over 30 years, Rossi Clothiers, Rockbrook Village.
Fighting holiday traffic and crowds can be tough. Skip the lines for the biggest sale event ever at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and cost thousands less than traditional braces. Now you can get up to $580 off your treatment journey. Order your at-home impression kit today for $12.95 and get $300 off your aligner purchase plus a free LED whitening kit. Just use code BIGMONEY22 at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Be confident. Be you with Byte.
The Mavericks return home after a road victory over the number 1 ranked team in the country, Denver. Get your tickets for tonight and tomorrow night against Western Michigan. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your tickets at the Baxter Arena box office or at omavs.com/tickets.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
He's back. Old Man Winter has arrived. If you notice the cold air leaking through your home's windows, give J-Tech Construction a call for a free estimate. Keep winter cold outdoors where it belongs. Let the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction, upgrade you to triple pane replacement windows and start saving money on your energy bills. The cold doesn't have to mean higher heating costs. Get all the details by going to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family, every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
When you're a kid and it feels like no one is in your corner, it's a pretty tough place to be. And let's not forget the spikes in depression and anxiety from the pandemic. That's where Teammates can help. When kids have mentors through Teammates, they're more likely to feel engaged in school and more hopeful for the future. Just by simply being there, mentors can make students feel confident in their own skin, even when everything else seems to go wrong. Become a mentor. and be there for a student by going to teammates.org. A message from JTech Construction, proud supporter of Teammates Mentoring.
All right, couple things before we make our picks here. Number one, got a few follow-up emails on the bell. A couple people who are close to the situation. It does. I don't have confirmation on this, but I do trust, the people who are reaching out.
You trust your sourcing enough to bring it to air.
And it's not my sort. People who are just like, hey, here's what I know, and here's what it is, and enough people said it that I feel okay about it. It seems as if the Missouri-Nebraska Bell is lodged at the Alumni Center.
Okay.
On the campus of the University of Nebraska, which is great. I don't know if it goes out for visits.
It apparently does, or did at one point, because Scott sent us a tweet.
Yeah, go read this one.
My roommate in college was in the Innocence Society, and the bell was in our apartment for like a month after the win in 2006. It's really cool to see.
It's the bell.
It would look great in a college apartment because it looks like it's just crappy side table.
It's exactly random enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, what is this here? Well, it's a trophy that two major universities play for. Oh, you want to bring that back anytime soon? Hang on to it for a couple more weeks. Okay.
I'll get around to it.
Okay. Number 2, order of business. Omarion Miller decommits from Nebraska as of a few minutes ago. He's opened things back up. Obviously, a lot of changes at Nebraska. He was one of the recruits that was pretty close with Mickey Joseph. So, makes some sense. And there's always going to be some sort of turnover in these situations.
Makes sense that a lot of these wide receivers would be like, you know what? I'm gonna
just open things back.
That was the wide receivers guy. I'm gonna look around.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what else there is out there for me.
Josh Heupel lost 35 guys when he got to Tennessee. Tennessee doing fine.
They did okay. Matt Rule had like 35 scholarship players when he got to Baylor, and they made it work. Picks. I think unless you want to do like a bowl, maybe we'll do like a bowl pick'em, so this will just be separate. I think this is the last week of picks.
Okay. What's the damage? What's the standings?
All right.
Because that's going to affect my.
It wasn't a great year for either of us.
Picks. Okay.
I am currently the leader by 5 games.
Ooh, so I got a sweep to win.
You do. You do. And we're gonna pick each of the major 6 conference championship games, including the AAC. So you do have a chance, but you're gonna need me to be absolutely horrible. And you have to pick the opposite of me.
I know.
Every time. And you have to come up with an argument for why. So if you want to,
I have to come up with an argument for why.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do it this way. If you want to, you could pick second on all these games.
Okay.
You could just fade me. And we'll see how that goes for you.
Okay.
I am 33-38-1. You are 28-43-1.
Ooh.
After a 2-4 week last week. I was 5-1 last week.
Nice.
My one loss just Ohio State. And also the bonus question that we added at the end, who will be the new coach and when? You said Fickle Sunday.
Yeah.
I said Rule Saturday. It was Rule Saturday.
Was it Saturday or was it Monday? Really.
That's true.
I'll let you have it though.
Actually, I think what you said on Fickle was that maybe they were going to hire him Saturday and the press conference was Sunday. So you know, none of us were actually on the mark there. Okay. Conference championship games, picks this weekend. We begin tonight in Las Vegas, the official home of the Pac-12 conference. Actually, let me get updated lines on these two, make sure we are all squared away. Yes. Number 11, Utah against number 4, USC, who is a 2.5-point favorite in beautiful, fabulous Las Vegas tonight, 7:00 on Fox. Josh, I will go first.
Okay.
I believe that USC will avenge their loss to Utah, their one loss of the year, will become the Pac-12 champs, will become an ironclad college football playoff team, and will win by by 3 points or more the Pac-12 championship tonight in Lincoln Riley's first year. Caleb Williams will win the Heisman, and there will be a lot of chatter about that over the next couple weeks as they head to the playoff. USC. -2.5.
Connor, where were you October 15th?
I was watching this game.
You were watching this game. Oh, so you did watch. You did watch Utah already beat USC once this year.
It happened.
It happened. It's the only team that has beaten USC.
USC, yeah.
Preseason, I said Utah was the dark horse to get into the playoff. Now, that obviously can't happen, but Utah's a darn good football team.
They are.
And they're going to do it again tonight in Vegas. USC, short week. No, thank you.
Number 10, Kansas State. And number 3, TCU in the Big 12 title game. This is at Jera World in Dallas tomorrow, 11 a.m. These are the two most consequential, I think, conference title. I guess they're all really consequential if Georgia loses or if Michigan loses, but this is significant. K-State, TCU a 2.5. I have them at right now. Point favorite, 11 a.m. ESPN tomorrow. Josh, in an upset, the Kansas State Wildcats.
Oh.
And I was thinking about this last night. I think this is probably, without a doubt, the first conference championship game to ever happen between two schools wearing purple.
I would think so. The numbers feel very slim on that possibly happening.
Kansas State plus 2.5, and they win outright.
Ooh.
And they win outright, and TCU is out of the playoff. Well, momentarily out of the playoff, sparking a ridiculously dumb debate that will last forever and ever. Number one, should we cancel conference championship games? And number two, one-loss Ohio State versus one-loss TCU, none of which won their conference championship game, and both are owners of top 10 losses. Kansas State plus 2.5.
Connor, have you watched TCU this year?
I have. Yeah, they're pretty good.
12-0.
They haven't outlost once.
They have 8 wins by 10 points or fewer this season. This is their specialty. When you think they're out, they pull it out.
Yep.
Give me the Horned Frogs. Give me the Hypno Toad. Playoff bound.
All right. I like this so far. Number 14, LSU. And number 1, Georgia. In the SEC title game in Atlanta. I think I'll probably watch about the first 7 to 10 minutes of this. 3 p.m. CBS tomorrow. Unfortunately, Josh, I do get to go first on this one, so good luck. Georgia minus 17.5.
Oh, please. Take the obvious choice.
Have you seen LSU?
Have you watched LSU this year? They are 9-3, my friend.
I'm aware.
You know who they haven't played this year?
Well, they definitely played Texas A&M.
They have not played Georgia yet this year. LSU, the visiting team. Brian Kelly brings his family to Atlanta.
My family.
They walk into the Lions' Den that is Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, and shock the world and beat Georgia, who they struggled against Missouri. Georgia struggled against Missouri, Connor.
They did.
That's the second Missouri slam of the show. I didn't see that coming when we started.
Georgia by 3 touchdowns. SEC champions and playoff bound. Number 22, UCF at. This is a true home game for number 18, Tulane, who is a 4-point favorite. Let me make sure I got that one right as well. Oh, yeah, this is the Army-Navy game. No, that's next week.
Yeah.
Tulane. Where are you? On the FanDuel Sportsbook. There you are. 3.5, not 4 full. 3.5. In New Orleans, but it's just a home game for Tulane. Saturday, 3 p.m., ABC. Josh, since I am tasked with it, I will go first.
Thank you.
I picked UCF correctly to beat Tulane as they did earlier in the season.
You did.
And,
November 12th.
As is the trend here. Tough to beat a team twice. Tulane is invigorated by their coach, Willie Fritz, returning to the Green Wave. Give me Tulane minus 3.5 in a AAC conference title and a New Year's Six bowl berth.
Connor, why are you a flip-flopper? You just said it yourself. You've seen this game 3 weeks ago. The Knights went into Tulane, and beat Tulane 38-31.
Have you seen this?
Have you watched the Golden Knights this year? They will do it again because they'll probably wear some gimmicky uniform that kids like and shock the Green Wave this weekend.
With Tulane, we'll have even more gimmicky uniforms that the kids like.
I think those are more of a throwback.
All right. But we're all opposite so far. I wonder why.
Yeah. Jeez.
In the Big Ten, Purdue and number 2, Michigan, who is a 17-point favorite in Indianapolis on Fox tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Actually, let's adjust this to 16.5. 16.5 is the new line between Michigan and Purdue. It's actually sort of a big number for me. Like, I'm actually sort of like, Michigan gets off of beating Ohio State. And they're riding high, and obviously they rolled Iowa in the conference title game last year. And I think that's a lot of what people are looking at as well. I think Michigan's going to win the conference title. Give me Purdue to cover plus 16.5. Why not?
Connor,
why not?
Have you watched the Michigan Wolverines
I just got done watching them. Yes.
Then you saw that they have found a new wrinkle in their offense, the forward pass. And they're going to use it. You remember the time Michigan went into the horseshoe and beat Ohio State by a lot, by 22 points with the second string running back who only had the use of one hand?
Yes.
Well, that guy's only got the use of one hand. They're going to throw the ball more. They found this new invigorating offense, and they will use it to thrash Purdue in the easiest pick of the weekend, Michigan by 1,000,000.
And we finish in the ACC in this game nobody cares about. Number 9, Clemson, is a 7.5-point favorite against number 23, North Carolina in Charlotte.
If I didn't have it right in front of me, I would have no idea what time this game starts.
I don't think that I've watched this game hardly ever. This is just like I'm over it by the time this game rolls around. I'm probably watching the Big Ten game. But this is the ACC title game in Charlotte on ABC tomorrow night. Clemson minus 7.5 against North Carolina. Honestly, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage for going first in this one. I haven't even thought about it. I don't care. Give me Clemson.
Connor, my friend Connor.
Have you
watched Mac Brown and the North Carolina football Tar Heels?
I've watched them briefly, yes.
Where's this game at?
It's in Charlotte.
Ah, perfect. That is not the home stadium for North Carolina because the Tar Heels are 6-0 on the road this year. They're road warriors.
It's not a road game.
It's a road game.
They're not even leaving their state.
It's
Josh. What do you know about geography?
It's a neutral game. Speaking of teams that never leave their home state, Northwest Mississippi hasn't played a game outside of Mississippi all year.
Stat of the day.
North Carolina 0-0 in neutral site games. Mac Brown embarrassed against NC State. Mac Brown embarrassed against Georgia Tech. They beat the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Swinney.
Excellent. So Josh has his chance, but only if I go 0-6 and he goes 6-0. God, I hope this doesn't happen for my sake because I was in charge of all the picks. We'll come back and round things out on a Friday next on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, it's Jan from Toyota, reminding you that Toyotathon is on and here to help make your holidays extra magical. How? Maybe it's driving in a Tacoma in search of the perfect hill to sled down. Popping from store to store in a Prius to find the perfect gift.
You did it. How'd you know?
Or it could be something much more simple, like surprising loved ones in a RAV4 hybrid.
You made it, Bobby! You're all grown up!
And seeing their faces light up when you pull up to their home. Stop by Toyotathon and make this holiday one to remember. It's the perfect opportunity to gather with your friends and family, both near and far.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers on these vehicles end November 30th. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyotathon, which ends on January 3rd. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, or Baxter Toyota of La Vista.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply in person this Thursday and Friday at the Florence City Hall from 9 to 5:30 for an on-the-spot interview. Unable to attend? Apply by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
The Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont is just a quick sleigh ride from Omaha at Woodcliff Lake. Get a head start on all your stocking stuffers with gift cards from the Woodcliff Restaurant. Winters at the Woodcliff Restaurant are warm and inviting, like a Santa's workshop, but more fun. Stop fighting traffic, parking, and one-way streets. Slow down and enjoy a fantastic dinner at the lake with family and friends this holiday season. The Woodcliff Restaurant is Santa approved. Check them out at thewoodcliffrestaurant.com or on Facebook for specials and events.
Like bones, your teeth lose density and become weaker over time, which can lead to tooth decay. And that can make your visit to the dentist feel like this. But if you want your dental visit to feel like this, try Crest Densify. Crest Densify actively rebuilds tooth density to extend the life of teeth by remineralizing enamel. Densify from Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America. Smile, Crest has you covered.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift on Christmas morning. Join the Zone and J-Tech Construction and Solar as we stuff the truck. Today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tomorrow, December 3rd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at our studio at 5011 Capitol Avenue in Omaha. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. It's Stuff the Truck to benefit Toys for Tots with 1620 The Zone, 1180 The Zone, and J-Tech Construction and Solar.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
We're 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. Yep, we're called 1 Hour because we promise to arrive at your home within the hour that you select. They don't call us sometime between 10 and 6 Heating and Air Conditioning or before Tuesday Heating and Air. We're not maybe next week we'll fix your AC or we'll get to it between now and August AC repair. Nope, we're 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning and we're
always on time or you don't pay time.
Call 402-333-5000 for a free duct cleaning every time we seal your duct work. Each location independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
FAU just announced that they have officially hired one Tom Herman to be their head coach. We were wondering where Tom was.
Mm-hmm.
He is surfaced, and he is going to Boca. Maybe he can live in Lane's old house.
I'm sure they've talked. It's a great rehab spot.
Mm-hmm.
Must have heard the scouting report from the wheel.
Yeah, Tom was on there too, wasn't he?
Yeah, we're big in Boca.
Nice. So congratulations to the fine folks down at FAU. They have their next head coach. Poll questions before we get out of here. Let's start at the beginning.
It's a good place to start.
Do you ever think, even for a second, that Drew Brees had been struck by lightning?
No.
Yes. Not enough time to like act on it. Not enough time to OMG, thoughts and prayers for Drew. You know, that thing. But enough time to say, dang, that would be crazy if Drew Brees got struck by lightning. Yes.
What happened there?
88% say no, they did not fall for it. I think some of them are liars. Are you worried about the fact that Nebraska doesn't have a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator yet?
Oh, did I write? O-line coach.
I'm sorry, a defensive coordinator and an all offensive line coach. I guess if I'm one way or the other, it's no. Not particularly. I mean, they're gonna find him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a plan.
They're gonna find him. 74% agree. They say no. Have you ever thrown a golf club? I think I probably have, but I'm not like a big golf club thrower. It's few and far between. I'll throw a golf club maybe once every few years.
Okay.
So yes is my answer. One time. That puts me in the not never category. 78% say yes.
That sounds about right.
A lot of angry people. Floyd of Rosedale, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Absolutely yes.
Respectfully, no.
58% say yes.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be when I put that on the poll.
And finally, are you a hot stove guy? I wonder how this is being interpreted by people who don't consider the baseball offseason the hot stove. Absolutely, I am a hot stove guy. 58 down to 57% say no. They are not hot stove guys. And I guess there is one new one in.
Yeah, very new.
Is it good to start at the beginning? Yes. 86% agree that it is good to start at the beginning. Josh, what are we watching tonight and this weekend?
We are watching tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Get a mimosa in you, turn it to Big Fox, and watch the Americans shock the world, especially those dirty, dirty cheaters from the Netherlands.
Yeah, we don't like them at all.
World Cup knockout stage, round of 16, 9 a.m. tomorrow. College football, there's a game going on right now, literally right now. Akron and Buffalo for bowl viability on ESPN Plus. You got the Pac-12.
For one team, anyway.
Yeah, for one team. You got the Pac-12 title game tonight, 7 o'clock on Big Fox, Utah and USC. And I'll give you a little sleeper. 5 p.m. Sunday, ESPN Plus. JUCO college football playoffs, number 3 Iowa Western at number 2 Northwest Mississippi.
Josh is going down to Mississippi.
I'll be there. I'll have a full report when I return. NFL games this weekend that you're going to get locally. Jets, Vikings, noon on CBS. Chiefs, Bengals, the big 3 p.m. game on CBS. You got Tony Romo blabbing during it. Eagles, Titans, noon on Fox. And got a bad Sunday night game ahead of us. Colts, Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Lakers, Bucks tonight on ESPN, followed by Bulls, Warriors. College basketball, there's a top 15 battle tonight, 7 o'clock on Peacock.
I didn't know Nebraska got in the top 15.
Not yet. Number 6 Baylor, number 14 Gonzaga, 7 o'clock on Peacock tonight, only on Peacock. Illinois plays Maryland. That's top 25 battle tonight on BTN, 8 p.m. Nebraska.
Wait, Illinois plays Maryland?
Yeah.
That's a conference game.
That is a conference game.
I almost said Big Ten ACC Challenge. Why do I still think ACC Maryland is in the ACC?
Nebraska, number 7 Creighton, 3:30 Sunday on FS1.
People forget.
Coverage begins here on 1620 on Sunday at 2 p.m. Don't miss that one. Volleyball all weekend long. The tournament is underway on ESPN Plus. Creighton, Auburn, 6:30 tonight. You can hear it on 1180 or watch it on ESPN Plus. Nebraska plays Kansas tonight at 7 on ESPN Plus as well. Soccer, the national tournament, the Elite 8, Creighton and Duke, noon on Saturday.
Let's go.
That one also on ESPN Plus. Like, big weekend for ESPN Plus, I told you.
Yeah.
And finally, I'll give you a movie to watch this weekend on Peacock. Big weekend for the Peacock as well. Billy Eichner's Bros is on Peacock. It is the first LGBTQ plus rom-com released by a major studio featuring an all LGBTQ cast.
Okay. Gotcha. That's
also, it's a funny comedy.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so I assume it's a funny comedy.
Have you ever watched the Billy Eichner or Billy on the Street?
Yeah, I really like those.
Funny as hell.
Yeah.
So I hope there's, a flavor of that.
So I'm looking forward to catching that. Probably not this weekend since I'll be in a van, but
not down by the river.
Eventually.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
And thank you for hanging out with me today and hanging out with us today. I know it was sort of a grind. Got through it.
You sounded better than I think you sound.
Okay, yeah. I don't feel as good as I sound, I guess, then.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case.
Come shake Connor's hand in the parking lot after the show today at Stuff the Truck.
Please do. Please do. I'm okay. I'm all right. Thank you, Josh, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Stuff the Truck goes until 6 tonight and then 11 to 4 tomorrow. We hope you stop by and say hello. You can stay away from me if you'd like as well. That is the show today. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next, but one more reminder. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Why? Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code Happer. Anything this weekend. Josh just gave you the full slate. Saturday, all day college football. Sunday, all day NFL. And it extends out to the major soccer tournament tomorrow as well. If you want to get your day started early, you can go live bets. You can go same game parlays and anything in between with the FanDuel Sportsbook. It is a beautiful thing. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up today with promo code Happer for your no sweat first bet. Promo code Happer, Happer. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is now withdrawable. Free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best